Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Afternoon Tune. I'm your host, Josh, and with me is my co-host here.
Dusk, hi, everybody.
And today we got a nice show. We're going to be discussing Death on the Nile, the Kenneth Branagh directed film where he's playing Hercule Poirot. Also starring Gal Gadot, Armie Hammer, just star-studded cast of people. We're going to be getting into that. I saw that. Both of us saw it. So we're going to be giving a review for that. We're also going to be giving a review for Book of Boba Fett. That book finally ended. We finally got the last chapter. Finally did it. So we're going to be discussing the series in total and what we thought of the final episode. Also, Peacemaker. The penultimate episode for Peacemaker also came out this week, episode 7. We're going to be getting into that. We've been reviewing every episode of Peacemaker. So this week is no different. We're going to be getting into that. Also, a little bit of news. You're going to be getting the Oscar nominations that were announced. We were talking about a little bit before the show. Dusk was saying, well, nobody really cares about the Oscars anymore, which I always hear people say, but then also people go into like, well, why wasn't this nominated, but why wasn't this thing nominated? So, yeah, so we're going to be getting into that. Yeah, and then also Lightyear, that has another trailer coming out. We talked about the previous trailer that came out, which was a teaser. This is the official trailer now. But then sometimes, like, when these teaser trailers get released, it feels like the official trailer. It doesn't really feel like a teaser all that much. But this is the official trailer that got released for Lightyear, which is the Buzz Lightyear movie that's going to come out pretty soon from Disney. Disney Pixar. So, Dusk, how you doing there, man?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Doing pretty good. Today saw the movie Death on the Nile. Went there to go see it. Pretty good experience. Went to my usual theater. Not much really has been going on with me. Same old, same old. So you're still prepping for your physical and everything like that, right?
No, I ended up. No, I had that yesterday, actually.
Oh, yeah, yesterday. Okay, and you did good.
Well, I didn't even get to that point. They, unfortunately, they said I failed the interview, and so that was it. That was the end of it.
Oh, okay. So you failed the interview. So, what happens now?
It's it. It's over.
It's over.
Try again in a year.
Just like that.
Just like that. Yeah, basically. I did meet some arbitrary amount of points that they wanted to hear. And at that point, they're just like, well, okay, you didn't pass it, so thanks for coming in and goodbye.
Ah, okay. No, sorry to hear that, man. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I was pretty pissed. I drove all the way out there and ready to do this, brought my gym bag, was ready to get started, have been preparing for a while, and then they just kind of just do that. I felt pretty pissed off, I'm not going to lie, so I prefer not talking about it anymore.
Okay, that's understandable. Yeah, sorry to hear that, man. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So we get into a little bit of news as well with the Oscar nominations. So we're gonna just start off that right away. So we're gonna be usually covering just the big categories. So Best Picture, Best Supporting Actor, Best Actress, Best Actor, Best Director. We're gonna be getting into those ones. Best Animated Feature, Original Screenplay. Typically the big awards we're gonna be talking about and seeing kind of how they do and what we kind of thought of that. So let's kind of get into it there. So Best Picture. We have Belfast. I didn't see that. Nick saw it. Nick is not here right now. He's busy doing some other stuff. He couldn't make it this week. He's going to be probably back maybe next week or in a couple weeks. But he saw it. He thought very highly of that movie. I still have yet to see it. That's on my list to see. Did you see Belfast?
No, I did not. I did not get a chance to see Belfast.
Okay. Then you have a movie I haven't heard of, Coda. Have not heard of that one before. Don't Look Up, which was the biggest surprise that they actually nominated, which is the Adam McKay movie. Surprised. You have Drive My Car, which I didn't see it, but I've heard a lot of great things about it. I heard it's a pretty great movie. Dune is on here, which I thought was very good. King Richard. Mm-hmm. I guess I'm kind of surprised by King Richard. We saw that. Yeah. We reviewed. I thought it was okay. Wasn't really that blown away by it, but I thought it was a fine movie.
They got Big Willie in there though.
Yeah, Big Willie style, where he's Big
Big
Father
Willie style.
style. He's doing the Big Father style there. He plays Richard Williams, the father of Venus and Serena Williams. Um, yeah, I thought it was a fine movie. But okay. You also have Licorice Pizza, the Paul Thomas Anderson movie. I saw that as well. Thought that was good. I thought that was also
Mm.
very good. I didn't probably love it as many people did. I had some issues with it, but that's on here. I expected that. Nightmare
Mm.
Alley. I kind of didn't expect that actually.
Yeah,
That
it's
was
kind of it reminds me of Guillermo del Toro's previous movie that made it on the Oscars and won a whole bunch of awards.
yeah. What previous movies?
The 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 Merman.
The Shape of Water. Oh yeah, The Shape of
Yeah, The
Water.
Shape of Water.
Shape of Water. I guess I could maybe kind of see it. I mean, time period wise, I guess maybe.
No, I'm saying I don't know. Maybe it's kind of a spillover. I mean, Nightmare Alley was pretty good, but again, nomination. Why not?
Yeah, I was kind of because it kind of seemed like it was a movie that not that many people saw.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I didn't. I mean, I saw it on a lot of. I did see it on quite a bit of best of lists, but it seemed like the fact that
Mm.
it was kind of nominated was kind of surprising. You had The Power of the Dog, which we just reviewed recently. The movie with Benedict Cumberbatch that people can see on Netflix. That's here. You also have West Side Story, which was pretty much a guarantee. I thought that was gonna probably be in there. It was
Yeah,
West
that's
Side.
what we call Oscar bait.
Yeah, and West Side Story was one of my favorite movies of last year. I did love it a
Mm.
lot. Did really enjoy it. So out of this list, what do you think is missing here, if anything?
Oh man, God, trying to remember 2021 is kind of a surprise. I'm actually surprised there's not Last Night in Soho.
Mm,
Surprised that wasn't picked as a surprise pick. Technically, it's a very good movie, but I can understand how maybe Edward Wright's while his camera work was good, the I don't know, maybe some of the dialogue wasn't as getting to the point as people might have wanted, so it wasn't as tight as a script. So
mm,
maybe that's why. But technically, I think that would have been. I don't know. There's
mm.
a you kind of catch me on the spot. Had I known, I probably would have made a better list. But it's hard to really think on them collectively in a year.
Yeah. Did you ever like come up with a list of like best of movies of the year that you?
No, I ended up just getting so busy. I
Ah,
just never even found the time. I'm
okay.
sorry.
No problem, no problem. So like I said, out of this,
For those disappointed, I'm sorry. Maybe
so
one day.
So out of this list, I saw Dune, I saw King Richard, I saw Licorice Pizza, I saw Nightmare Alley, I saw Power of the Dog, I saw West Side Story, I saw Don't Look Up. I haven't seen Drive My Car, I haven't seen Coda, and I haven't seen Belfast. And Coda, I just seen it right here. So it's Child of Deaf Adults. That's what it is. It's on Apple
Mm.
Plus. Yeah, so they got in there. Um, so out of this list here, I'm surprised that, like I said, Don't Look Up is on here.
Mm.
That seemed like a movie that was so mixed with a lot of people because I know some people really do love it and some people really do hate it. And I mean, we came in, we reviewed the movie. I thought the movie was just fine. I thought it was okay.
Mm.
Um, we talked about it, and overall, I just felt like yeah, it's got some kind of good ideas, but it feels a little just too long and kind of just attacking too many points and everything like that. Um, yeah, so that was kind of a surprise that was in there. I'm happy Nightmare Alley made it. I was a big fan of that movie with Guillermo del Toro,
Mm.
Bradley Cooper, so I'm very very happy that movie made it. I can't say I see all the pretty much all the reasons why these movies are nominated for what they are. Pretty much the ones I saw, King Richard. If I were to take that out, um, I don't know. I think, like I said, I wasn't that big of a fan of it, but I guess I could see why it's in there. A lot of people seem to really do love that movie and do love the performance of Will Smith, who is in it as well. So yeah, we saw, you were there for the King Richard review, weren't you?
No, it was not.
Oh, okay. You weren't. Okay. I'm surprised something like maybe Tragedy of Macbeth. I'm surprised that wasn't in
Yeah,
there.
because
Uh,
it's nominated under Denzel Washington is nominated under actor leading role.
yeah. So I'm surprised that wasn't in there. The Green Knight. That
Oh my God! I'm surprised that's not nominated.
Yeah. So I was surprised that wasn't in there. So that was kind of a surprise. I didn't love Green Knight like maybe some people did, but I really
I really
appreciated.
enjoyed it.
But I'd still really appreciate it. The Last Duel. I'm surprised the Last Duel did not make it
Yeah,
on.
no, yeah, you're right. Last Duel, that was on.
Um,
That's I'm surprised too. At least getting a nod.
yeah. So that was kind of very big surprising. Spencer, which was the movie with Kristen Stewart.
Mm.
Um, Surprised I didn't get a nomination for Best Picture. That was kind of shocking to me. I kind of felt, I thought the movie was, it had some really good elements, but I thought if you're going to see that movie for any great reason, it's Kristen Stewart. She's really,
Mm.
really amazing in that movie. Um, Also, like I heard really a lot of great stuff, like with Mass. Like, have you ever heard about that movie?
Mm. Which mass?
Mass is the movie. It's about like people dealing with the fallout of like I think a school shooter, and like the families and how they kind of deal with that. I haven't seen the movie, but I've heard like
No, neither
really,
am I.
I've heard really really amazing things about it. The Lost Daughter, which was the movie directed by Mac Gyllenhaal, we reviewed that recently. That's a really great movie with Olivia Colman. I'm surprised that's not up here as well. Um, yeah, so that was kind of there. Yeah, there's some kind of shocking surprises there. Um, hmm, yeah. So those are some movies that I think that I'm surprised. Or The Worst Person in
Mm.
the World. Have you heard about that movie, The Worst Person in the World?
I have heard about that.
Yeah, I've heard really stellar things about that movie, and yeah, I'm surprised that that's not on the list as well. Also, one of my favorite movies of last year, Zola. Zola was one of
Mm.
was my favorite movie of last year, and it's not nominated for Best Picture at all. So that was kind of like ah. But there's a whole thing going on with the person who the movie's based on,
Mm.
because she's not getting a writing credit at all for the movie, even though the movie's nominated for screenplay. Um, but she's not getting any credit for it. And you would think so because I mean, because the movie's based on her tweets. Because if people don't know the story of Zola, hey, Nick is in here. Hey, let's go in there, Nick. How you feeling, man? Nick says he's shocked Tick Tick Boom didn't get nominated. That's another movie too. Tick Tick
Mm.
Boom, for Best Picture. Yeah, that's another movie too. Andrew Garfield did get nominated though, and I think Andrew Garfield. I think out of people as best actors, I think he's I think he has a good shot of winning. I think so. It seems like the buzz is pretty strong on him winning. But yeah, yeah. So those kind of some things there with that. Um, but so out of the people that are nominated for Best Picture, who do you think is winning?
Best Picture. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a contest between Licorice Pizza and possibly West Side Story.
Hmm. I agree. I think what I'm gonna break
Mm.
it up. I'm gonna say what I
Yeah,
think is gonna
please.
win and what I want to win out of the
Hmm.
categories. Like what would be cool to win. Um, what I would personally want to win, I think maybe Nightmare Alley or uh, maybe West Side Story. Those were two of my favorite movies on the list
Mm.
here. Um, what I think is gonna win, I think it's you're right. I think it's gonna be between Licorice Pizza and between West Side Story. Why? Because they're both movies that deal with the past, that deal with old Hollywood, that deal with like Licorice Pizza is very much about like old kind of Hollywood kind of aspects, those type of things. Very much how West Side Story is. It's a remake of a classic musical, one of the most classic musicals out there. And Licorice
Mm.
Pizza has this very romanticized of the '70s and the '70s. Hey, what's going on, Marley? How's it going on, man? And we were just talking about the Oscar nominations, and we were just talking about what we would think would win for Best Picture. I know that you said you weren't really a big fan of Licorice Pizza yourself. You weren't really a big fan of that movie yourself, but I think it has a strong chance of winning. And you said Marley Loves Film says Drive My Car needs to win. That'd be also good, great. I mean, for
That would be a good pick too.
Drive My Car. I mean, a foreign movie like that again, winning, coming in and winning Best Picture here. Uh,
And quieter movies always nice to kind of see.
yeah. So it's a Japanese film. I've been meaning to check it out. I really, really, really have to check that
I
movie.
now seeing it on the list, I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah. So I have to check it out. Nick says, keep hearing amazing things about Drive My Car, but it needs to come to streaming. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. We're gonna be moving on. So that's what I predict. I predict you're right. It's gonna be between Licorice Pizza and West Side Story, and
Yeah.
I think West Side Story is gonna win. Steven
Yeah.
Spielberg
Yeah.
musical type thing, and it was a great movie. It was.
Yeah.
It's funny. Marley said I haven't seen Twizzler Calzone. That's funny. Yeah, and I learned this kind of when the movie was out. I didn't say it in the review, but licorice pizza refers to like slang term for like vinyl records. That's what
Hmm.
licorice pizza is. And then there was actually a chain of record stores called Licorice Pizza, but they don't ever mention that in the movie at all. They never mention that. They
Yeah.
never talk about records or vinyls or
Yeah.
go to the shop at all. So it's like, okay, you could have called it something else that would have fit
It
with, yeah.
is very much that title feels very much Paul Thomas Anderson, where it's a very much a kind of if you're in the know, if
Mm,
you were there, you know what I'm talking about. And you're like, what are you talking about? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We'll see. It's like see you tomorrow. You didn't see me where? You'll know. And you're like, no, I don't. And then he leaves.
yeah. Who was the? Do you remember there was an article that came out? Who is the actress that said that doing coke with Paul Thomas Anderson and Quentin Tarantino was like one of the worst experiences of her life? I forgot who said that.
I don't know what.
It was Nick.
Oh my
Maybe
god.
Nick knows what I'm talking about. But Nick, if you can, if you could put who I was talking about, there was like an actress who said that she was doing blow with Quentin Tarantino and Paul Thomas Anderson, and they were like two of the most insufferable people.
I can imagine.
Yeah, like I forgot who it was. Nick, if you can put that name up there, that'd be really good. I was trying to think. I'm trying to think of who that was. But yeah, let's move on here.
Mhm.
Next we're gonna do best actress in a supporting role. I'm just going how it's listed here. I got it, the CNN on here for the
That's
nominations.
fine.
So we have Jessie Buckley, the Lost Daughter. She was very good in that movie. She plays
Mhm.
the younger version of Olivia Colman in the
Mhm.
movie. She's very good there. Ariana DeBois in West Side Story. She was amazing in that movie. I
Mhm.
thought I was like when I saw that movie, I was like, she's definitely going to get nominated for best supporting actress. Judi Dench in Belfast. We talked about it, Nick. Nick said it was Fiona Apple. That's who it was. She
Oh,
said doing
Fiona
yeah.
Apple. Okay.
Yeah. Judi Dench in Belfast. We have Kristen Dunst in Power of the Dog. Kristen Dunst was very good in Power of the Dog. And we have Anjanae Ellis in King Richard.
Hmm.
Okay. So so you said you saw King did you see King Richard or no?
I ended up seeing King Richard. Yeah.
Okay. I thought she was very good in that movie. She doesn't play the conventional wife character in most of these movies because
Mm.
sometimes in these movies the wife is such the just always supportive, always behind the
Yeah.
husband's back. Like they have a lot of conflict. Her and Richard Williams a lot of times that's
Yeah.
very good in the
Very,
movie.
very much so.
So I did like that a lot, and
Yeah.
I thought she was very good in it. Kristen Dunst in Power of the Dog, I thought she was very good in that movie. I mean her character is a very kind of like sad, kind of tragic character in a way.
Hmm.
I thought she was very good in that. Jessie Buckley is also very good in Lost Daughter. But I would say who I would want to win. I think
Hmm.
Ariana Du Bois would that's who I would want to win for West Side Story. Who do I think
Fair
is
enough.
gonna win? I don't know. I think she's got the best shot out of anybody here. I think she's probably got the best shot. What about you? What are you thinking?
Um. Yeah, I think who I think will win will probably be Ariana DeBoy, just because she was good at least in West Side Story. I haven't seen Judi Dench in Belfast, so I can't really comment.
Right.
Um, Anjanae Ellis was good in the role she was in. I liked her, but who I was kind of interesting to see win. I'm kind of interested to see Jessie Buckley in The Lost Daughter.
Hey, thank you for playing that afternoon delight for 10 bits there. Thank you very much,
Mm.
anonymous. Let's see. Marley Loves Film says he thinks he might be the only person that hates King Richard. I don't know.
That's completely understandable.
I
I
just thought
completely
it was
understand that if you do.
yeah. I just thought it was okay. I just thought it was
Yeah,
just okay. I thought it was fine.
like yeah,
Um, yeah. Very very much so. So I'm gonna be doing that. Oh hey, thank you, Devil's That Game, for subscribing. Hey man, thank you very much. It means a lot. Thank
appreciate it.
you coming through and subscribing, man. Much appreciated. Um, yeah.
What's the next category?
So we settled. So we think in who we want to win is going to be Ariana DeBois there.
Yeah, we think I mean, that's what we think. What we want doesn't really matter. What we think.
Yeah, I mean, I would want her to win. If somebody's gonna win, I think she
Okay,
did.
sure. All
Yeah.
right.
I didn't see Judy Dench in Belfast, so I can't really say.
Yeah,
Uh,
me neither. So,
okay, we're gonna do best actor in supporting role. We got Syrian Hines, Belfast. We got Tori Kotzer in Coda. We got Jesse Plemons in The Power of the Dog. We have J.K. Simmons in Being the Ricardos. We have Cody Smith McPhee in The Power of the Dog. Huh. Um. So I didn't see Belfast. I didn't see Coda, so I can't give my thoughts on there. Yeah, all's doing good, man. Devil's That Game, man. Thanks for coming by, man. Much appreciated. Much love, man. Yeah, I'm gonna catch your next stream for sure. Um, I didn't see the Being the Ricardos. I heard that that movie's kind of getting mixed, kind of word of mouth.
it it is a movie that is movied.
Mm.
It's like Ed Wood
Uh huh.
or being a Dolomite. Uh, Unlike those other two that had like tighter scripts and a more focus on this person's life, it is similar. Where okay, this is a point in their lives in which this is when they're focused in to tell this story, specifically in this time, and it is okay.
Mm.
Everyone is competent. The camera work is okay, but it just it there's nothing special about it.
Mm. Okay.
But Nicole Kidman does a solid job.
Mm. Okay. Then you also have Cody Smith McPhee in The Power of the Dog. So you have two actors who are in the same movie who got Best Supporting here: Jesse Plemons and
Mm.
Cody Smith McPhee. Jesse Plemons, I thought he was fine in the movie. Um, I didn't really think I wasn't that blown away by his performance in Power of the Dog. He feels such like kind of like such a background character in that movie
Hmm.
almost. So I kind of wasn't all that much blown away. Um, then Cody Smith McPhee, I think he does a good job there. I think he has more of a role in the movie, and he does do a very solid job in it. Hmm. I mean, a person who I think is kind of missing from this category, William Defoe, I think would have been good for his performance in Nightmare Alley. I thought he
Mm.
gave a very very good supporting performance in that. But yeah, so out of this list, who do I think is gonna win? I think Syrian Hines has probably. I'm hearing really great things about him in Belfast. Um, and then he's an older actor too.
Mm.
That's a big thing. Um, hmm. Cody McBride, I don't know. He's a way young guy. It's like, probably not so much. I don't know. What are you thinking?
I think I'm kind of on the same page with you. Um, I can't comment on Belfast, but why not? Honestly,
Mm,
because J.K. Simmons just being the Ricardos, he wasn't really. He did fine. He did J.K. Simmons fine. Like again, movie's fine, nothing special. But actor in a supporting role, I don't really would have put him there either.
mm,
Um, I would have put other performances there, but from the list, what I see, yeah, I'll go with Sierra and Hines
mm.
as a
Who
probably
is there anybody you think would have been good there?
uh, anyone for any supporting actor from The Green Knight would have been solid. Any
Oh,
of those other unconventional characters, I actually surprisingly I wouldn't have minded. Damn it, what's his name? He plays John Peters in Licorice Pizza,
oh,
the
Bradley
producer.
Cooper. Bradley
I would have
Cooper.
put Bradley Cooper in there. He does a great job acting as John Peters. If you know half the stories that producer John Peters has
Yeah.
done, I think he does a great job capturing that madcap energy he has. Even though he has very brief appearance in the movie.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good. Yeah, I did love his performance coming in there. Um, as that character. Yeah, I think he would have been a good shot there. Um, hey, thank you for the 20 bits, Javon Good. Hey, man, thank you for coming by, and thank you for playing the sound alert for 10 bits there, man. Afternoon delight to you, man. Much love there. Um, hmm. Nick also mentioned Corey Hawkins from Macbeth, best supporting actor. Corey Hawkins did do a very
Mm.
good job. That's a very good pick.
Okay.
Thank you for
Yeah.
the 200 bits there, Nick. Hey, thanks, man. Thank you a lot. Yeah, Nick, who's our host on the show, coming by in the chat. Thank you, man. I'm gonna be probably back in a couple of weeks. You know what I mean? Just couldn't make it to this show. Was very very busy this week.
That's fun.
Um, yeah, Corey Hawkins. Yeah. Thank you, Nick. That's a good suggestion there for Macbeth. I did really love his performance in Macbeth. I thought he did a really great job in that. Yeah, Corey Hawkins, William Defoe, Bradley Cooper. I thought all three gave really fantastic performances. So yeah, I think for me, if I had to take a guess, I'm gonna go with Syrian Hines, Belfast. If I had to take a guess. All right. Let's see. I think international film. I think Drive My Car. That's the only film I've ever heard about. This list also has The Worst Person in the World. So it's pretty much between. It seems like between those two movies because I haven't heard
Yeah.
anything about these other movies like Flee, The
Let
Hand
me
of
look.
God.
Hand of God from Italy, if I recall.
Yeah, I haven't really heard anything about these other movies. I think it's mainly just be between Drive My
Uh,
Car and The Worst Person.
Flea is also an interesting one.
Okay.
That one's an animated one. It's also nominated for animation. That one's about the refugees, the Iranian refugees.
Okay. It says it's on Hulu, so I have to. Maybe if it's on
Yeah, check
Hulu,
it out.
yeah, I'll check it
It's
out.
it's definitely unconventional for an animated one.
Okay. Nick said, "Yeah, Drive My Car for international film is a lock." Yeah, we should do that. We should probably review Drive My Car.
Yeah,
Review as many of the Oscar movies we can before
yeah,
it comes. So
for it.
when are the Oscars? It's uh, I forgot when the Oscars are. I always have it kind of set, but then I
March
completely
27th.
March 27th. Okay, I think I can watch majority of these movies before
Yeah,
March
March
27th.
27th.
Okay, let's see. Best animated feature. We got Encanto, Flea, Luca, The Mitchells vs. Machines, Ride the Last Dragon. I think it's
Uh,
between Mitchells vs. Machines and Encanto. It's between those two.
yeah. I like Luca a lot. But yeah, against Mitchell's versus the Machines and Encanto, it unfortunately is it's not quite as good as those two. I haven't again seen Flea. I want to. That one's a more unique one. But no matter what, Ryan the Last Dragon is not even. Should I almost can't believe it's even on the list.
Yeah, I didn't mind Ride the Last Dragon. I thought it was okay. I didn't mind it.
I'm just saying if you're talking like an Oscar list,
Yeah, I mean,
there are
uh,
probably other better animated features that came out that year.
maybe. Yeah, maybe. Luca, I thought it was okay. Luca. Um,
At least Luca had a coherent story and characters and was fun.
I don't know. I guess seeing Luca, I was like, you know what movie just did this better very recently?
Mm.
Wolfwalkers. I was like, Wolfwalkers, which came on Apple Plus like the year
Yeah,
before.
no. Actually, yeah. Was Wolfwalkers released in 21?
No, it was 2020. Luca came out
Damn,
2021, and then I was saying
damn
the
it.
year before when Luca.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, Wolfwalkers is better Luca. I understand that, but Luca wasn't necessarily trying to be Wolfwalkers. Uh, Wolfwalkers has its own Celtic thing and is doing its own thing. It's a much more serious movie. Luca is more fun with a little bit of that aspect of not exactly being what people see you as, but Wolfwalkers takes itself like the other parts of the Celtic trilogy, Book of Kells, and I forget the middle movie. They're a little bit more serious, a little more of the darker, like more. Hey, kids, you got to be a little bit older to kind of watch this ones. There's some sad moments in these.
Yeah.
But
Marley
yeah,
says, I can talk drive my car with you guys. Yeah, love to have you on, man.
yeah,
Discuss some of these
absolutely.
movies. I don't know if we're gonna do an Oscar stream thing. What day is March 27th?
Sunday.
Sunday. I don't know. I'll see if I can maybe take off that day, do an Oscar stream day or something like that, if we can. But yeah. So I think Encanto, I think that'll win. What I would want to
Hmm.
win is probably Mitchell versus Machines. I thought that was on
Yeah,
my list of best of movies of the year.
yeah,
I think Encanto will win though because it's Disney.
yeah.
It's the big machine that is Disney and everything like that.
Yeah.
And not to say it's a bad movie. I think it's a good movie. It's
No,
got
it's quite good.
great songs in it. We need to talk about Bruno. It's like blowing through the charts right now. It's like
I
going
mean,
up.
dear Lord.
Yeah, like everybody's obsessed with that song right now. And when I watched the movie, I was like, yeah, these songs are going to be popular. I was like, these songs are going to be really good. It's like, it's the best I've liked Disney songs in a while,
Mm.
actually. Like, it probably since the most I've liked, this is the most I've liked a Disney song, probably since, um, probably Moana, I'd say, probably.
Mm.
But yeah, I think it's probably going to be Encanto. Let's see. Marlowe's film says Luca is the most Studio Ghibli film that Pixar ever made.
And that's why I kind of like it. It's chill and it knows what it is. It doesn't dive too deep. Uh, would I wanted it to go deeper? Sure. Would I wanted to have a bit more? Absolutely. Studio Ghibli movies tend to actually have a bit more to it. But man, it had a lot of heart, and I like it. Whatever. But I'm right there with you. Honestly, between the two, what I would want to win is the Mitchells vs. Machines. I just really like that movie a lot. I think it's very has a tight script, good characters, great voice acting, really kinetic and energetic movie and animation. But traditionally, I think it's probably going to go to Encanto. Not that it's a bad movie at all. It's quite good. It has great songs, fun characters. It's kind of Encanto reminds you, wow, when Disney actually gets its head out of its butt, it can actually make some really amazing stuff.
Okay. Do you want to do the screenplays or
Uh,
adapt it or
not. I mean, let me check it. Look at the screenplays.
yeah?
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm looking at the official Oscar list, and you're looking at the other one, so I have to scroll through.
okay. We can do best actor real quick.
Yeah,
So we have Harvey Bardem being the Ricardos, Benedict Cumberbatch, Power of the Dog, Andrew Garfield, Tick Tick Boom, Will Smith, King Richard, Denzel Washington, Tragedy Macbeth. So I saw everything. Well, I didn't see Andrew Garfield and Tick Tick Boom, and I didn't see Harvey Bardem being the Ricardos. Out of this list, I think Andrew Garfield's gonna win. I think
mm.
we're in the Garfield sans. We're in the Garfield sans, basically. I mean,
I
it's
mean
like
he's earned it.
he No Way Home, $1 billion. He was
Mm.
in that. People loved him in that. Tick Tick Boom, and then he was in The Eyes of Tammy Faye. This was a good year for him. I think he's got to
Yes,
look.
it was.
You know, I think I think he's gonna get it. I think at everybody.
Hmm.
I think it's gonna be Andrew Garfield. I'm hearing more about him, everything like that. I think he's got a lot of momentum. I think he's kind of got it. I still have to watch
I
Tick Tick
think
Boom. Yeah.
yeah. I think it should be a good shout out for Denzel Washington though. I think he did a great job in his role as in the tragedy of Macbeth.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought he was amazing in that movie. Benedict Cumberbatch, I thought was amazing in The Power of the Dog. I mean, he plays a real motherfucker in that movie. Nick says who should win? Andrew Garfield. Who is probably going to win? Either Benedict Cumberbatch or Will Smith. Really, you think Benedict it's between Benedict Cumberbatch and Will Smith?
Damn. I would have said Benedict Cumberbatch and Denzel. But that's me.
So that's who you think? You
Who
think
I
it's between?
think who I think is gonna win. If Andrew Garfield and Tick Tick Boom, I think he would. I wouldn't. I would be more than happy if he did. But I'd also be more than happy if Denzel won.
Yeah,
So whatever.
yeah. I think the long shot here is Harvey Bardem, if there is a long shot.
Oh, yeah. If there's a long shot at all,
Yeah. I can check out Being the Ricardos too because that's on Amazon Prime. I can
yeah,
check.
it's a really quick. Trust me, you'll feel the time fly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's who I think. I think it's probably gonna be Andrew Garfield. Who I would
Hmm.
want. I wouldn't mind if Andrew Garfield won. I mean, I still have to see
Hmm.
Tick Tick Boom, but Nick keeps talking about it, and he loves it. And then Will Smith. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, Will Smith. It's like, hey, this is Will Smith doing dramatic stuff. You know what I mean? How many times is he going to be nominated for Best Actor? Maybe. So it's like they might do that. I don't know. Yeah. Um, All right, we have Best Actress in the Leading Role. We have Jessica Chastain, The Eyes of Tammy Faye. I saw that. Olivia Colman, The Lost Daughter, saw that. Penelope Cruz and Parallel Mothers. I did not check that out. Nicole Kidman and Being Ricardo's. Did not see that. And Kristen Stewart in Spencer, which we saw. Um, uh, I The Eyes of Tammy Faye. I reviewed that movie. Um, I thought it was fine. I thought if you're gonna, it's like Lady
Mhm.
Gaga and House of Gucci. If you're gonna watch that movie for any reason, it's gonna be for Jessica Chastain. So if you're gonna watch The Eyes of Tammy Faye, it's gonna be for her performance. It's mainly focused on her. Um, but the movie around her isn't that good. Like same thing with like Lady Gaga and House of Gucci, which I'm surprised she didn't get nominated because everybody was talking about her in House of Gucci. Like I don't even like House of Gucci, but I was like Lady Gaga is
Mm.
good in this. Um, and so I thought that movie was fine. I thought her performance was solid. I think Olivia Colman's was better in The Lost Daughter. Um, Nick says he's shocked that Rachel Ziegler didn't get nominated for West Side Story. Yeah, that's also another thing too.
Mm.
Rachel Ziegler, yeah. She was amazing in that movie too. In West Side Story, yeah, she was absolutely great. Um, so out of these people, who do you think is going to win, and who do you want to win?
Mm. Who I think is going to win will probably be Olivia Colman from The Lost Daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Who I want to win, um, I don't know. Who I want to win, unfortunately, isn't on the list. But what we have right now, I guess. Mm, I wouldn't mind if Christian Stewart won in Spencer. It's pretty much the whole movie, so
Hmm.
I don't know.
Uh,
This
yeah,
one's tougher.
this one, yeah, who would I would want to win? I mean, I haven't, like I
Mm,
said, I didn't see Penelope Cruz and Nicole Kidman's performance. So I'm only going by really Olivia Colman, Jessica Chastain, and Kristen Stewart. Out of those three I've watched, Kristen Stewart
mm,
or Olivia Colman, to me, I thought they gave a better performance
right.
than Jessica Chastain. Is Kristen? Do I think Kristen Stewart's gonna get it? I don't think so. Even
Yeah.
though I mean, she really is the whole movie. I mean, it's the whole thing is about her, about Princess Diana, about everything. Just like Jessica Chastain, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, just like Olivia Colman in The Lost Daughter. But then Olivia Colman, she also does share a lot of it with Jessie Buckley, who got nominated for Best Supporting for the same role. Um, I think if I had to take a wild, I like you said, I think maybe I don't know. I think maybe Nicole Kidman. Maybe they might give it to Nicole Kidman. Legacy
That would
thing.
be a big upset.
They might do that with her. She is playing a real life figure. They do like people who play real life figures. Even though Jessica
Mm,
Chastain, she's also playing a real life figure too, and Tammy Faye and Kristen Stewart, who plays Princess Diana. But it's a legacy Hollywood playing Lucille Ball, so they might do that. Um, yeah, but I would probably want either Coleman or Kristen Stewart to win for both their performances. All right. We'll do best director here. I'll get Kenneth Branagh, Belfast. We have Risuku Hamajishu for Drive My Car. I fucked that name up. Paul Thomas
no,
Anderson, Licorice
okay. It's for drive my car at Ryusuke Hamaguchi.
Hamaguchi. Okay. Um, let's see. Paul Thomas Anderson, Licorice Pizza. Jane Campion for Power of the Dog. Steven Spielberg for West Side Story. With the best director category, like if you're gonna have more than multiple movies nominated for best picture, why not just put
Wouldn't
all
you
the
want to have the same for director? Yeah.
why not just do that for all the directors? That doesn't make any
Also,
sense. But
yeah. Also, I noticed that Dennis DeLuise is not one of them,
yeah,
but his movie is under Best Picture.
Denny Villeneuve for Dune.
Villeneuve. Yeah.
His movie's nominated for best picture, but he's not nominated for best director. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like the person who directed King Richard, they're not nominated. You know what I mean? It's like, but
Right.
why? Guillermo del Toro is not nominated for Nightmare Alley. That's why. You know what I mean? It's just like if you're gonna have more than like five movies for best picture, just have that to accompany the best
Have
director.
those, yeah, directors and movies should have like the same categories, neck and neck. Those should be like the two big ones.
Yeah. Nick said best director will probably go to Spielberg. Yeah, I agree. Probably Spielberg. I mean, I love West Side Story. West Side Story is what? Yeah, it was my
Hmm.
second favorite movie of the year. Um, and then Jane Campion for Power of the Dog. Love Power of the Dog, but I think it's probably between Kenneth Branagh though might get it for Belfast. He might get it for
Mm.
Belfast. Because they've done that before. Where they split Best Picture, Best Director.
All right.
Maybe he gets it for Best Director. Um, but then also he just came out with a movie recently, like with we're going to talk about Death on the Nile. Might that impact his chance to win? Who knows?
Mm.
Um, but I think it's mainly between Paul Thomas Anderson and Steven Spielberg, like how it is in the Best Picture. It's mainly between Licorice Pizza and West Side Story.
Yeah.
I think I think Steven Spielberg. I wouldn't. Yeah, I think probably is going to get it. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm kind of right where you are. It would be a big upset if Ryusuke wins or Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah.
But, you know, between, yeah, the two powerhouses are Paul Thomas Anderson and Steven Spielberg.
Okay. All right. That's it for like the big categories.
Yeah,
There.
really.
Let me see like documentary real quick because I'm wondering if Summer of
Yeah,
Soul is in best documentary.
it is.
Okay, because I've been hearing really amazing things about that movie. I have to
Yeah,
check it
there's
out.
Ascension, Attica, Flea, which again animated, so it's both a documentary, it's an animated feature, and it's international. So it's not nominated for three categories,
Yeah.
different categories. Summer of Soul and Riding with Fire.
Yeah. How many of these have you seen?
Uh, None.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna be checking out Summer of Soul, and since Flea is on Hulu as well,
Hmm.
a lot of these are probably on Hulu. A lot of them do drop on Hulu. So yeah, I could check them out. Yeah, we should do that before it
Yeah,
hits.
get to
Um,
see as many as we can.
yeah. All right. So moving on from discussing the Oscar nominations, we're going to be getting into the Lightyear trailer. So here we are. This is about the person that the toy in the Toy Story universe is based on, Buzz Lightyear. So that's why you got good old Chris Evans, Captain America, coming in here, voicing him instead of Tim Allen. I guess. I guess that's their excuse. Um, this shows us a little bit more. I mean, you don't really know fully of like what's going on, which I like. It's kept a little bit more of a mystery. And I also like the idea of we're seeing a sci-fi animated film in space. It feels like it's been a while since we've seen an animated film in space.
Hmm.
We just saw recently a sci-fi anime film in Mitchell's vs. Machines. Um, but as far as like in space, something like that, I can't remember the last one. Can you?
Oh, geez. A competent science fiction animated movie. Oh boy. Off the top of my head. Not since maybe Titan AE?
Titan. That was a long time ago. That
I
was.
said competent.
Oh, I'm trying to think. There has to be. Well, even before. I mean,
No, there must had has to be, but I'm just blanking on so many.
well, there was Wally. That was in '08.
Yeah, that's true.
That was in. I'm trying to think of something at least in the last 10 years. I can't really think of anything. If anybody knows any sci-fi anime movie in space, that came out in the last like 10 years or so, let me know. How does this one look? Does it look any better to you at all?
Um, it looks more conventional than I thought it would be, but it's about as what I predicted. All right, so we're gonna see the origins of Lightyear, this fictional toy that this origin story of the fictional toy in a universe that it just doesn't even make any sense. It's a toy. It's a toy, and they're trying to make a live action version of the character who inspired the action figure of the same name. And they've got crystals and sci-fi stuff, and Toy Story universe doesn't have any of that. They're just normal everyday people. We don't have this sci-fi stuff.
Well, I mean, you don't know. You don't. I mean, we don't really see much outside of Andy and the
Oh,
toys, and
come on.
you
Come
know.
on. Stop that.
I mean,
Stop
we.
playing.
I mean, we don't. I mean, it could be. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in the everyday lives of people in the Toy Story world. I don't know. I
I
mean,
interpret this as just Lightyear's origin story in their own canon. What, like the canon of their own fictional universe. So fictionally, this is just the character's origin story. And then I guess the Buzz Lightyear 2D animated series that came later is just doing its own thing. That's like many years later
yeah.
when everything's established. This is him before Star Command. This is him before all that because apparently he wrote half the regulations, so he would have had to have proven himself. I mean, trailer looked exactly like what I thought it would, just a more darker version. Did you and Zurg is huge in this version.
Oh yeah, so this is also a big thing about this is like it shows the appearance of Zurg, who's like the big villain, the arch nemesis of Buzz Lightyear. You see him in the trailer here. Do you know who's voicing him, by the way?
For this one,
Yeah, in this one.
Zurg has not yet been mentioned yet, voice actor.
Okay. Yeah, but you see him huge here. He's like a big kind of mech
Mhm.
looking outfit there. Like big kind of robot. Yeah, huge kind of robot there. Um, yeah. I mean, it's Pixar. That gives me hope. I mean,
Mhm.
there's not many times Pixar has missed. Um, so that's a big thing too. Uh, Chris Evans does sound good as the voice of Lightyear. I do like the way it looks. Like I said, it's been a while since we've seen animated film in space. It's feels like it's been a minute. So that's another thing that has me excited. Uh, you don't really know much of the story or much of what's going on, so I like that. I like that they're keeping things kind of under wraps, which kind of is good, because I think they know it's like, well, one, we can sell it because we're Pixar, and people
Mhm.
already know we basically make quality stuff, so people are going to come up for that. And it's saying that it's Lightyear, which is based on the Toy Story universe or whatever. My fear is that if this becomes a success, they're gonna make a whole cinematic universe of the Toy Story stuff to find a way to
Yeah.
leech off Toy Story even more. Because aren't they doing another sequel to Toy Story?
Oh God, I couldn't even finish Toy Story 4.
You couldn't even finish it. Wow, you didn't like Toy Story 4?
Toy Story 4 to me, it felt like all the characters were not who they were, and they were just made excuses for another story. Uh, Woody wasn't really himself. Wasn't himself. It had the voice actors, but they weren't really. And it was just kind of a disappointment. You brought them all back, and then this is the plot. This is what you're gonna do with them. All right. I guess I'm not seeing it like everyone else is seeing it. I didn't hate it. It just didn't keep my attention really.
Okay. Um, I could kind of see some of the stuff. I mean, sometimes with a lot of these Toy Story movies, they do
Yeah.
follow the same kind of pattern of
Yeah.
kids' movies and stuff like that. Like the toys get lost, and they got to find their way back to their owner.
Hmm.
That's like the basic plot of every single Toy Story movie.
Yeah.
But
I
the
also. Yeah. Go ahead.
but the writing and the
Hmm.
directing and the performances take it over because those are so top notch. So you don't really, I don't think it really matters so much that they're doing the same
Hmm.
plot over again almost. But you know,
I just three ended it fine. There's no reason to continue it. That was literally what all they could do with it. It's done. And then I was excited initially to see Bo Peep. And you're like, oh, they're gonna bring Bo Peep, and they're gonna be rekindling and stuff. And no, it doesn't really gel like that at all. And she doesn't even feel like the same character, kind of that she even was. Even I know they have to make adjustments because she didn't really have that big of a character in the original series, but even something even akin to that. Woody acts stupider than he does in the rest of this. Buzz acts stupider than he did previously. It's just it was just one of those things that I'm like, why are you bringing this back if you're not going to give it your best?
okay,
But anyways, this might have a better chance of probably being better. Hopefully,
yeah,
maybe, who knows?
yeah. Like it could be a cool sci-fi adventure film.
Yeah, sure.
This doesn't really give you a lot much to go on. which I kind of like. I kind of like that. So it keeps you kind of guessing about that stuff, and
Mhm.
keeps you a little bit more optimistic. Um, yeah, and it comes out June 2022. Okay. So, but we're of course we're gonna see it. We're gonna review it for the show. I'm
Yep.
trying to get screeners for us. I'm trying to. Adrian, who does We Be Watching Films with Jeff, and he says like, yeah, we get screeners. I was like, how you get screeners? He says, I just email the studios, email the PR people. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm doing that, and hey, maybe get lucky. Maybe people go like, oh, why not? Sure, let's send them screeners. Yeah, why not? So,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to get that for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, Nick said, I adore Toy Story 4. It felt like the epilogue to Woody's relationship and with Andy and finding a new purpose. Yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of liked Woody and Little Bo Peep and their kind of, thing and them kind of going off. And I do like Andy. And I do like, Woody's life after Andy, what that's like for him.
Mm.
And I did like that. And I did like, but I did see your complaint with Buzz. Like Buzz felt like he was kind of back Buzz Lightyear from the first movie. Like he was just
Yeah.
as stupid. I didn't really get that, or just as kind of naive. I didn't really get that too much. All right, so we're gonna move moving on from the news to get into our first review. We're gonna be discussing Death on the Nile, which is the Kenneth Branagh film. He is acting and directing in it. He plays the central character, Hercule Poirot, the famous detective. Hercule Poirot is a literary character created by Agatha Christie. He's up there as far as famous detectives. I would say up there with like Sherlock Holmes. Kind of people like that. So, very, very famous literary detective. And this is a sequel to the Murder on the Orient Express, which is another film that also Kenneth Branagh directed
Mm.
and was in as Hercule Poirot. That came out in 2017.
2017.
Yeah. And this movie, was supposed to come out. It's already been done for 2 years. It already got completed. So it took a while for it to have a release date because of obvious reasons, COVID,
Yep.
pandemic. So they were kind of mixing around here. Um, of kind of when it was going to get released. So it kind of got messed around for a while, but it's finally here. So you have a nice star-studded cast of people here: Gail Gadot, Armie Hammer, Russell Brand, Lupita Nyong'o. You also have Annette Bening. Just a great cast of people here, much like how you had in the first one. So the premise of this one is while on vacation on the Nile, you have this beautiful heiress who's Gail Gadot. She's getting married to Armie Hammer, and they're on their honeymoon. And then while he's there as well, in the same location, they're having their honeymoon. They offer him, it's like, could you help us? Because we fear for our lives because Armie Hammer has a jealous ex in the movie. Who is played by? Let me see who this actress is played by, because she's kind of one of my favorite parts of this movie, and I'll kind of get into that more. But it's a woman named Jackie, and she plays like kind of this jealous ex, so they kind of fear for their lives, and it's made all the more tense because like how in the first one, Murder on the Orient Express, that was on a train. This one is on a boat, so it kind of same kind of tense kind of space, cramped kind of space, which I think Kenneth Branagh does a very good job directing that. And I think he works very well with that, and it kind of adds to the suspense of the thriller and this sense of tension, having all these people crammed in this tight space, like how the first one was on a train, this one is on a boat.
Mm.
So I think Kenneth Branagh does a good job as Hercule Poirot. I think he has a lot of fun playing the character. I think he enjoys playing the character. I think that direction wise, is this as good as something like maybe you'll see with his other movies? No, I don't think so. And I think Death on the Nile compared to Murder on the Orient Express, I would say it's kind of. I haven't rewatched that movie since it came out, but we did a review for it. I think it's up on the site, up on our YouTube page. But my thoughts on it was just fine. It was a fine movie. It was okay. I thought it was solid. This one I think is maybe slightly better. I think it has maybe a better supporting cast. Nick put in the chat Emma McKay. Yes, her. Yeah, she's really fantastic in the movie. He said also a Margot Robbie clone 3.0. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, if she had blonde hair, yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah, another clone of Margot Robbie. Yeah, so that like adds. I think that's four because it's her. It's some more Weaving from Ready or Not. It's that other girl too. I forgot her name. But yeah, it's like three or four now of clones of her. Also Jamie Presley, who was like the OG. She was like the Margot Robbie before Margot Robbie. So really, Margot Robbie's the clone of. They're all just the clones of Jamie Presley, really.
Mm.
But in this one, so I think he, is it as good as kind of his other movies? I don't think so, Kenneth Branagh. But I still think it's a solid outing from him, and it seems like he's having a good time. Also, when they because they're in the Nile, which means they're in Egypt, and you can clearly tell like when they're standing, it's like they're in. You can see the green screen there pretty much. I feel like that the digital stuff wasn't that good. And when they were out, trying to be on location, quote unquote, trying to be in these places like Egypt and everything, and show the pyramids or show all this other stuff, these art, these structures, it just didn't look good. I thought that was kind of really really weak in the movie. Did you ever watch Murder on the Orient Express?
I did. I've also seen it from the original BBC series with when they did an interpretation with David Suchet and Agatha Christie's Poirot.
Okay.
Uh, I thought they did it. To me, David Suchet has always been just the epitome of Poirot. He's the best version I've seen. He did it for so long too, but uh, not like not of course recall correctly. Kenneth Branagh, he does a good job as Poirot. He's having a lot of fun with the character, and he can be very cold and very sterile in his analysis, which is very good. It's very Poirot esque. He's an interesting interpretation of the character. Uh, Honestly, that's what I like most about this movie was all the side characters. I think everyone does a good job being untrustworthy or everyone having their own motives. That's the best part of a mystery of figuring out who's who, knows what, who doesn't know what, and who has their own motivations. Costumes are good. I thought the costumes were pretty good. It was very nice, kind of seeing this old, kind of old Hollywood esque style from this era, World War One era, post World War One era, kind of a style and clothing, and clearly a lot of money was spent on the costumes and just being on this luxury boat, spending money like there's no business.
Yeah. Because I mean, it deals with very, very rich people.
Yeah,
And she's absolutely wealthy, filthy, filthy rich, as they say, basically in this Gal Gadot. And when Gal Gadot, when she steps onto the scene, when you first see her, it's like, oh, this is why she's in movies, because she's got the look. I mean, she looks like one of the old classic kind of Hollywood movie stars. You completely understand that. You know what I mean? She's absolutely stunning. And in this movie, I think she does a decent job. I know a lot of people talk about her acting being probably not that strong, not that good. I think she does an okay job. I think she does fine in here. I think, like with her and a lot of people, she gets overshadowed by Emma McKay, who is the jealous ex in this. I think when she's ever on scene, she absolutely just really chews the scenery really well, and is absolutely great to watch, and have a lot of fun. And so is the character of the blues singer who's played by Sophia Akondo.
yeah.
She's also really great too in here. I think the way she talks, the way she kind of moves, you know what I mean, is like really
Mhm.
great and really interesting to watch her. Because like you said, I think you have an interesting cast of characters here because you have Russell Brand. He plays a doctor. He plays the guy that was at first supposed to marry Gail Godot's character, but then she broke up with him, so he's got a motive. Like everybody has a motive. She has a cousin. In this, who's a, kind of a, is he, skimming money off the top? Did he do something with it? Running her business. You have another kind of couple in this, like Annette Bening, who plays the mother of Hercule Poirot's close friend and confidant, Book. Could she have a role in it? Letitia Wright, she plays the manager of the blues singer, who's played by Sophia Okondo. She also does a very good job in this as well. So you have these kind of interesting cast of characters kind of come in here, and each person has their own little motive for maybe who've committed a crime or not, which I think adds to it. And I think, like I said, it is better a cast of characters than I think compared to the Murder on the Orient Express. Like, what do you think about that? Like this supporting cast compared to the other one?
It does feel like there's a little bit more going on than there was in the Murder of the Orient Express. At least that interpretation of it in the 2017 version. Um, yeah, I think they do a little bit better job showing off the different chemistries, the old flames, because this is a wedding, post-wedding murder, and everyone's a suspect, and everyone's got, oh no, I'm a cousin of him, or I used to be at their school. So everyone's got a lot of personal history with all these characters, and so you kind of get a better cast of characters to kind of feed off of, bounce back off.
Mm.
Um, so, at least for this one, but despite having a pretty solid cast and good costuming, I I don't know. I don't think I like it as much as I did the Murder of the Express.
Mm. Okay. Why is that?
Um, I think the Murder on the Orient Express was a little bit more concise, a little bit more pulling me in initially. I think they had a better flow. Not to say this one didn't, but I think this one just I think this one's pretty good. It's not bad, but I don't know. I
Mm.
appreciate its fashioned style, but it feels like that's what's really propping it up.
Mm.
Like it doesn't really add an extra twist from other versions I've seen or anything else. I mean, you can't really. It's the story, but I don't know. It just feels like something's missing.
Mm.
To added
Okay.
the extra oomph, but that's just me.
Mm. Okay. Um, I will say with it,
Hmm.
I think the first half is not as good as the second half. I think it takes a while to kind of get into the full swing of the
Yeah,
story and to
and
kind
that's
of
also another reason.
yeah, to kind of get moving and everything like that. Once they do get on the boat, once they are traveling, it that's when it really does pick up, and that's when it's a lot better. And I think that some of these, people, the way they, do things and the way they kind of work around, like I said, I think it's more. I think I will remember these people more than I remembered the other characters
Hmm.
in Murder on the Orient Express. Um, and Kenneth Branagh, like to see him kind of, and I think it's more into the Hercule Poirot character, like getting a more insight into him and kind of his
Yeah,
background. The movie even opens up giving kind of a more background on his character, and kind of a history of his character. And I think that was really good to see. You know what I mean, with kind of this character and how he moves through life and kind of why gets more into why and more why and why he is the way he is, which I thought was a very interesting insight. I think when the conclusion comes to everything, I think it's satisfying conclusion, which
hmm
is what a lot of these mysteries hinge upon. Is like, hey, how's the conclusion going to be, and is it going to be satisfying? And but it kind of just makes you think like, okay, if because this guy's, they say in
yeah,
the movie he's the world's most famous detective, right?
yeah,
And he solves every case he's get handed to him. Why not just kill him first? Like, if you're gonna
yeah,
commit a murder, just kill. Why not just kill him first and then kill the person you want to kill? But okay, whatever. I guess it wouldn't be. I guess it wouldn't be a movie. I guess, but I'm like, why
yeah.
not just?
Ergo, the plot of every single Poirot episode ever. If you know the famous detective is among your guests, he the dude you kill first.
Yeah.
There
So,
is one episode they try to kill him, one or two in the BBC series
mm,
based on books. They tried that exact formula, and he just like barely makes it out, or and then his other friends have to figure it out while he's indisposed.
okay. That'd be kind of interesting to see, kind of like why he's bedridden, and then
Yeah,
like his close confidant or something like that.
yeah, his closest friends, detectives, and whatever. They're like, okay, we gotta figure this out.
like some understudy that he has. Kind of, it's like I've been watching him for years, and I think I know I can pick up on what it means to be a great detective. That'd be actually maybe kind of interesting. But yeah, I think conclusion is satisfying enough. It's okay. Russell Brand in this movie playing very not much a Russell Brand role. I mean, he's so subdued and so
Yeah,
kind of toned down from normal stuff that you see Russell Brand do in any of his movies. Um, I just keep remembering there was like a time when the world was dominated by Russell Brand. Like he was
Oh
like
my
that.
god, yeah.
He was like that comedian that was like sometimes a comedian just catches fire and they're
Hmm.
everywhere, and then it feels like Hollywood really tries to push them out there. Like, oh, be in tons of stuff. You're gonna
Right.
be tons of big star, and it's
But
just like, nah. It was just like,
yeah, Russell Brand was also the kind of like nobody liked him. Like the Americans didn't really like him. Most people kind of found him. He was in like Get Him to the Greek. He was in
forgetting
oh my
Sarah
god,
Marshall.
he was in Ceremony. He was in that Arthur remake,
Yeah.
a character created for that entirely other famous comedian. He spent his like early life kind of creating that character, and like, oh, let's do a remake of that famous person's creation.
Mm.
Uh, got to drive around in that the Batsmobile for that movie, so sure, why not? Yeah,
Yeah.
he was just on fire for a bit, and then it's like, all right, we've had enough of Russell. He was also in Hop, the CGI bunny one, where he was
Oh.
the Easter bunny,
Yeah.
and then James Marsden was in that one. Poor James Marsden, he's in a lot of crap. He's such a great guy. He's a great guy, great actor, but he's just in a lot of crap.
Yeah.
But what can you do?
Yeah. I think he's got some maybe good potential to be, a really dramatic actor. I think, he's got,
Yeah.
yeah, I think he's got a lot of good potential to be one. Yeah. I would say, like I said, well, like with Murder on Orient Express, I think it's just fine. I think it's okay.
Mhm.
Um, I think it's like I said. I think it's somewhat slightly better because of the things I mentioned. Because
Mhm.
Kenneth Branagh is more into the character of Hercule Poirot. I think the stuff in the boat, the shots are very good. It's just when
Mhm.
they're not on the boat and when they're doing these scenes, supposedly we're in Egypt and we're with the pyramids and we're out on like in the streets and everything. That just looks not good. You can tell,
Yeah.
that they're in front of a green screen and that just does not look good at all.
Mhm.
But yeah. Other than that, I think it's a fine movie, and I'd give it a stream it. I'd say like a good a solid stream it. I'd say. What about for you?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. It's a no reason to go to the theater, no reason that you can just kind of stream it.
No. All right. So moving on from discussing Death on the Nile, I'm going to discuss Book of Boba Fett. That book is finally closed. We're done. Um, we
It's
can we,
over.
we can put the bookmark out of the book, return it to the library. You know what I mean? We're finished. When we have to keep reading it in Borders, drinking our coffee, it's done. It's over. Which I remember people used to do that all the time. I used to walk in Borders, and then they always used to be. They made a mistake by putting a Starbucks in Borders. That's what
They did.
that's what they fucked up at. They should have never did that, because as soon
That's
as they,
that kept them alive.
yeah, I mean, it kind of kept them alive, but also killed them because people just sat there reading the whole book in one sitting, drinking the coffee, and yeah, that kind of fucked them up. Yeah, they never should have did that.
They should have. If you read half the book, you have to buy it.
Yeah, there should have been somebody enforcing that policy. Yeah, you read half the book, you got to buy it. Yeah, there should have been somebody enforcing that. And there would be people who be treating it like a library. Like if you talk in there, the people go, "Shh, be quiet." It's like this is not a library. Like this is just a bookstore. You know what I mean? If you don't like
Yeah.
go to a library, but yeah.
There's Borders is still kicking though.
Are there a lot still around? Are there?
There's a few. There's a few borders. Like they're a lot less reduced, but yeah, they're still around.
Oh,
You can
okay.
still walk into your borders and
Yeah.
just. But they've combined with like Amazon to survive.
Mm. Okay.
They've made like a demonic partnership so that
Ah.
they can stay alive.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's a couple that I know that are still around. Like one, not it's not that far
Hmm.
away from me. Yeah, there's still a couple kind of close by me,
Yeah.
still kind of around. So here with the final kind of chapter here, you have everything culminating to the end. You have the big kind of all-out gang war that's kind of going on between Boba Fett and between all these different mobs that are kind of coming after him. Finally, the kind of the
Hmm.
war gets started here. Um, it does have a lot of big payoffs that we kind of already assumed was going to happen, but still was cool kind of seeing like Boba Fett riding the Rancor. That was
Hmm.
awesome. That was really cool. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm like, he better ride the Rancor, and he did. And I did enjoy it. That was kind of something there. it didn't kind of make any sense. All of a sudden, the Rancor. It felt like you were playing a video game, and
Yeah.
then something happens. Like with the boss, and then like the boss kind of runs away, and then it's like, and then never comes back. It's like I kind of feel like because the Rancor just all of a sudden just ran away.
Yeah.
So now it's just between purely him and Cad Bane, a standoff. I'm like, okay, that didn't. That seemed like it was purely
Yeah.
just set up for that, but
Yeah.
it was still Boba Fett versus Cad Bane, which a lot of that backstory really relies on you. I think seeing a lot of stuff from Clone
Yeah.
Wars.
So there's like a famously shown off like uh they haven't fully rendered it, but it's a bare bones register of what one of the season 7 episodes that got cut was going to be about. It was going to finishing Boba Fett's arc from the Clone Wars, how he got the Mandalorian armor initially, how it was made for him, and then having to deal with Cad Bane because Cad Bane had a rivalry with his father Jango, and they were although Boba Fett is kind of a villain. He is a darker character. He is like not a nice person. But compared to Cad Bane, he at least has somewhat honor. He does have somewhat these small little moments where yeah, he's done some horrible shit, but Cad Bane just has no whatever. They're the opposite ends of being what it means to be a bounty hunter. And in this one episode, it's going to be a duel between the two of them, and it was going to be like kind of like an ending of the rivalry somewhat, and it ends with them both firing and they both get shot in the head, and so that whole part in Boba Fett's armor that's just permanently there was going to be from Cad Bane, and whether Cad Bane survived or that or not from that, uh, at least Boba walks away from that, and that kind of is the start of his like more infamous time. He's no longer kind of a teen. He more becomes a bit more ruthless or a bit more focused after that, a bit more stone colder after that. So this kind of being like, if you want to do like a change in kind of character or make his change, finish up his arc, Cad Bane would be a great character to kind of finish it off. Kind of a more Obi-Wan to Vader, where last time we met, but this time it's like we didn't really learn from each other, but you were like like you were like the best of the best, and I kind of sort of beat you, and then but I'm not. He's like I've gotten older. I'm not as fat. It's like I'm not as fast as I used to be. You're
Freudian slip
faster
there,
now.
and not as fat. Yeah, he kind
Not
of
as fat. It's
yeah,
true. Not as fat as not
yeah,
as fat as I am.
yeah.
But yeah, he's not as fast as Cad Bane is, and Cad Bane proves it. And then yeah, but no, they didn't really do that. And it does rely on you knowing anything somewhat Clone Wars, even to have an inkling of an idea of why this would even matter.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of it is based upon a relationship that you kind of already have to know already, because they talk like they've known each other for years. But I think if you were just to watch this series and never seen Clone Wars and never seen anything else, you wouldn't really go like, "What the hell are they talking about?"
Yeah,
And I didn't think so Timothy Olyphant, his character's dead. I didn't think that. I just thought maybe he got maybe shot.
he's not.
You don't think he's dead?
No, I mean they showed a credit scene, the final extra credits. He's in the Bantha bath,
Oh, he's in.
being
Oh,
saved, and producer Thundercat with his techno arms is gonna save his life, and then the end credits.
oh, okay. I missed that. Oh,
Yeah, they
okay.
said, "Oh man, he got gunned down," but no, he's in the tank at
Oh,
the
okay.
very end. They show that
Okay, there's like a stinger at the end. Oh, I
it's
should
like
have.
a stinger at the end. Yeah,
Oh, okay. I should have guessed there was a stinger at the end. I should have figured that. Um. So yeah. So I thought that kind of standoff between them, I thought was fine. I thought that was kind of cool. And then Mando coming back again. Seems like it just Mando. The last three episodes, Mando just took over the whole thing. He just said
oh yeah,
he just came in, jacked Boba Fett's whole goddamn show, and just said like, okay, well, I'm just gonna do my thing now and set myself up for season 3 of my show, and then you can have what's left.
you know
Because
what's set? Yeah, basically.
yeah.
Uh,
What were you
and
about to say?
no, I think it's a big detriment to Mandalorian season 3 though, because now you have to watch another season just to get a lot of these quick resolutions that could have easily been better done in the third season. But that's just, I mean, that's just a bigger feelings I have over the whole thing. I'm gonna let you go for it, and then I'll talk about it overall.
Yeah, so I think with this, like I said, Mandalorian kind of came in because the best episodes of this show with the last 3 episodes, and they had little to no Boba Fett in it,
Mm.
mostly, or they were surrounded by just a bunch of other characters. So when it was just mainly kind of Boba Fett, his whole backstory and everything like that for the first 3 episodes, it really wasn't that interesting, and it really wasn't going anywhere. And then it's up until episode 4 where they do just purely just a or was it episode 5? Episode 5, I think, where they do just the purely just the Mando episode.
It's the 5 and 6 are mostly Mando.
Yeah. And they do mostly that. And it's like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, clearly, I mean, this is kind of what the Boba Fett show should have maybe been, or if you had if you want to do a prequel there of a younger Boba Fett, seeing him, when he was in his, days when like the Empire, well, like during that time of Empire Strikes Back,
Yeah.
or between in that period. But we've already kind of got that already with the Mando character, with Din Djarin. So it's like, well, what are
Mm.
we doing here? And I felt
I
like,
mean, you could have done a seedier underbelly version with Boba, and I would have liked to have seen that. Like much more being a morally gray kind of character, bordering on villain, lawful evil kind of character would have been a really interesting take for Star Wars, at least in that form. And seeing him act more as like getting jobs done no matter what, following his code, but not following let's be honest, Ginger Ends his the way, the Mandalorian way, is a very idealized version of what the Mandalorians are. It's a very specifically, the righteous path and good, and Boba Fett's just like whatever doesn't get you killed,
yeah.
whatever doesn't get you killed.
I mean, Din Djarin, he very much believes in the Mandalorian religion. He is a
Yeah,
follower, and then even Boba Fett's like, you actually believe that shit? Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, you actually follow. He's like, I mean, yeah, I mean, I do. I mean,
But it does. That is a nice moment where he does say, like, really, I think it's like, I do, and he goes, like, good for you. Kind of like all right, good for you. Like, at least you believe in something.
yeah, you know what I mean. He has a code. He believes in something. It's his guiding, kind of light in his path that he's able to. That's what his thing is. It's like, okay, I mean, if it
Yeah,
works for him, it
and,
works for him.
and Boba got a little respect for him for that. He's like, well, you believe in something, kid. That's what matters.
Yeah, and I think they work really well together. Boba Fett
They do.
and Tamir Morrison, I think, is best when he's working. You know what I mean? Maybe with
With another
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
I think that's when he's best. I think when it's the two of them, I think it's like it's really good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
The few moments in this episode when it's just the Jin and Boba just talking back and forth, it's the show I kind of wanted, where it's the younger, kind of naive, but more like heart of gold character who's this kind of more stoic, not talking as much, dealing with this character who is much more experienced, tired, much more of a scoundrel slash bounty hunter who has to kind of like rein him in, or they give good back and forth, different philosophy back and forth. But at the end of the day, they're all on the same goal and they work together. Like, I would have loved to seen a series where they're partners in crime and just seeing how both of them get that situation taken care of.
or you just see that like there's like they know each other because they go after the same jobs. They're bounty
Yeah,
hunters. They're in the network of
exactly.
other, like the scene you saw in Empire where you had all these other bounty hunters
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
And then it's like a whole network of other people that they all kind of very vaguely know each other because they've like,
I,
oh yeah, we
yeah,
all operate in the same circles.
honestly, that's what I was hoping this was going to be. Book of Boba Fett is either a prequel that deals with him kind of like they started in Clone Wars, kind of digging into the underbelly and this network of bounty hunters and seeing him grow into the legend he eventually became. Like when someone says Boba Fett, he's an infamous character. Next to Cad Bane, if someone mentions Cad Bane, they're like, "Oh shit, I'm just gonna drop the job because he's gonna take care of it." Or what they did here, but it should have been like after the whole Sarlacc pit thing. It should have been, well, what happened to him afterwards? How did he deal with that? How did he lose his armor, and then he got other stuff before while he was searching for it, and then whatever. But again, he's just stuck in one place. Fine, not. He even says at one point, like, "I'm not cut out for this." Like, well, why did you do this?
Yeah. Oh, hey, thank you, Kristen. Thank you coming in with the alert. Hey,
Yeah.
much appreciated. Yeah, the like during the final moments of the episode, he's like, "Yeah, maybe I'm not cut out to do this," and it's like, so is this show not going to get a season two? It was only supposed to be like a mini series. It was
Yeah.
only supposed to have one season. If that was the case, then what the fuck? Like, you just
Well,
did
yeah.
three Mando episodes in this one season of Boba Fett. Like, what the hell? Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Seems like just a big waste of time, honestly.
Yeah.
But
What was the point of this?
yeah. But that moment, yeah, when they're back and forth, Mando and Boba Fett is a great moment. When they're talking, and when they bust out the door like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid,
Exactly.
that was an awesome moment. There's a lot of like, okay, that was a great moment. That was an awesome moment. And Robert Rodriguez directed this episode, and he did what he does best: action. He knows how to direct some cool action sometimes. And when they're busting out and they shoot people and they got the Baskin armor on, Baskin armor, and they're kind of doing that. Even though, I mean, listen, I get that the armor is impenetrable, but there's still a person underneath the armor. And Din Djarin's getting tossed around. He's getting shot up. He's getting thrown through buildings. I'm like, that he should be meatloaf. Inside that armor, he should just be pure,
Oh,
just
yeah.
ground beef. I mean, ain't no way. Just because you got that armor on, dude. I mean, like, come on. I mean, ain't no way one person's surviving all that.
At least they wore armor. Kesserin didn't wear squats, and he somehow hit. I guess Wookiee fur is just bulletproof.
Yeah, I mean, because sometimes he get hit, but then sometimes it'll like they would make sure to aim at the one spots where he didn't have armor, so it'd bounce off. That little shoulder pad he has, and the what do you call that? There's a word for it, like when you have like the sack with all the weapons. Huh?
Oh, you mean the gun belt?
Yeah, there's like a word for it. Starts with like a B.
Oh, baluster.
Baluster. Okay.
The baluster, the ballista.
Yeah. So they make sure to hit him like right there where they can bounce it off, and it's like
Bandolier.
Bandolier. Yeah, that's it. Bandolier. That's what it was. That's it. And then also you don't even see how he survived all those dudes jumping on him, all those people. I'm like getting ambushed. It's like you don't even see how he survived that. He just shows back up because it's like it just feels like, well, hey, he's a big EU character. We can't, we don't want to kill him off. And I think his appearance was kind of weak, honestly. Like I don't think he lived up to what people talked about him in the EU. I mean, what do you kind of think about that?
Aside from that going down in a blaze of glory moment, that was probably the best part of this episode. Everything else was kind of a hot mess. Characters were not really utilized properly. We're leading up to this final moment, and I'm still wondering what was the point of this. And if you're just going to do a Mando season 3, then just do a Mando season 3. Because the way a lot of these are resolved, like immediately after they became things, like this would have been more meaningful if it was season 3 of The Mandalorian. We've had more time, a little bit more, and then, oh man, Grogu's back. Oh man, I didn't know Grogu was going to be back. That's awesome. Grogu.
Grogu.
And then Grogu just shows up. The Mandalorian has the best reaction of all time. Like, hey, look who came back, and he's just like what? He's just like a what? Like what? What are you doing here?
Yeah, it's all the characters. Even Amy Sedaris' character, she comes back and she helps and does. Baby Yoda. He like people said, like he's probably gonna. I think Nick. He predicted he predicted he picked the lightsaber. Yeah.
No, Nick predicted that he would not.
That he wouldn't pick the. Okay.
Because obviously that little bubble on the ship is not going to be used for anything in sarcasm. So I'm going to give Nick that because he's like, yeah, and then I'm like, yeah, you're right. They're going to choose that. Yeah. I would have hoped that he stayed with and learn Jedi stuff, but like Grogu's like, nah, I don't really care about being a Jedi. And you're like, okay.
Well, also when Luke said that, like, well, you do live a very, very long time. So he could just still come back and just
easily,
learn.
Yeah.
Because like he's still a baby right now, and he's over 100-something years old, and he's still a baby. Mm-hmm. So he could still wait 100 more years and then still come back and then learn to be a Jedi. Like it's
right,
not.
But Luke's dead.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Luke doesn't live as long as he does.
Yeah. So
I think the purpose was like, I want to make another Yoda so they can live like 800 years, and you can teach what I'm teaching you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's good, but I mean, he could still. I mean, Yeah, I mean, can't they just come back as Force ghosts or something and teach? They can't just do that.
I mean, sure, why not?
I
Who
mean,
cares?
it's like he just. I mean, I guess I don't know. I mean, maybe I don't know the rules.
Look, the whole even even Mark Hamill has argued about the whole like attachment things. He's like, "Oh, attachment is a weakness," and then even he like joked apparently watching that episode where he's like, "I mean, my attachment led to me saving my father, helping take down the Empire, and
Yeah,
restoring the balance of the Jedi." So, and he just kind of shrugs. So he's
yeah,
like, like even
yeah,
he's just like, "Yeah, no, that was stupid." Like,
yeah, and that's from George Lucas. I mean, that's what he said. So that's from George Lucas. So
yeah,
that's what he
amen.
that's what he did in the prequels. So people who want to get mad at this sequel trilogy and what Disney doing with Star Wars, hey, that's what George Lucas did. That's what he said. That's what the Jedi is. So
The Jedi were at one point this, and then they stopped doing that because Luke was like, "That's stupid. Let's not do that."
so yeah, so Baby Yoda, which when he showed up in the little seat, that did look adorable. Okay,
Mm,
that was adorable. Okay, when they flew and they did the thing. Okay, when he hit the hyperspace button or the speeder button on the starfighter, that did look really good. Okay, that was cute. Okay, again, it makes you excited for season 3
mm.
of Mandalorian. So if that was the main purpose of this book of Boba Fett was like just to get you excited about season 3 of Mandalorian, then hey,
I
you
mean,
passed on that. You did pass on
sure,
that. But
you can skip a whole lot of episodes for that.
yeah, you could just go straight to episode 5 and don't even worry about the other episodes. Just go straight to
Yeah,
that
it don't matter.
and just have you be prepared for season 3.
Yeah,
So you know, and then you also have the Scooby Doo game that comes back here that also helps. Me and Nick, we just reviewed a show called Yellow Jackets, which stars
hmm
Sophie Thatcher. She's in this show as one of
hmm
the people here. She's one of the main people who has dialogue.
hmm
Her, and I don't know why they gave her a British accent in this, or why she has one, or I don't know if that was they told her to do one, or that was a personal choice
hmm
she did because she's not British. She's from Chicago, so she's not British. I don't know what
Star Wars, why not?
I don't know. Hey, why don't you just show up with a nice, she don't be afraid where you come from. Show up with the Chicago accent, the Bears and and all
Burr.
that, and Chicago. Come on with the you got Bill Burr in space. He's doing his accent. He's got his Boston accent.
He
Hey,
does all over the place.
yeah, freaking wise ass. Like throw in the Chicago accent, throw in the person from New York, throw in their accent. Why not? Fuck it. Bill Burr showing up, he doesn't even attempt to do any other accent. He's like, listen, I'm Bill Burr. I'm just gonna do me. I'm just gonna do exactly what I do. I'm gonna give my accent, and then but
You're
she's
lucky I'm even showing up.
yeah, you know what I mean. So I don't know why they gave her a British accent. Don't know why, but whatever. It wasn't. I don't think it was that good. And
Yeah,
she's an amazing actress. Like I mean, I don't know if you've seen Yellow Jackets. That show's really
I
good.
have not.
That show, you guys check it out, man.
Okay, all right,
I'm obsessed with the show. I'm
that's
really
great.
yeah. So I highly recommend checking it out. But yeah, I don't think it was that good. And then you had the other guy who I don't even know his name, but he was the black guy. He's the one with the cyborg eye, or he got the Google glasses on or some
Oh
shit.
yeah,
Yeah. He's the other person who has dialogue, and then people were talking about that spin move he does.
oh yeah, the spin move,
Yeah,
yeah.
motherfucker got the style, got that flair. You gotta throw a spin move in there. You know what I mean? Like he, that's
Yeah.
like, and a lot of people talking about that. It's like, well, this isn't Star Wars. I'm like, this is corny. I'm like, well, yeah, Star Wars has always been corny. That's kind of what Star Wars
Yeah,
is.
but even that was just like, what is this?
You know,
Uh,
that felt
I
like
don't know, man.
definitely something Robert Rodriguez like you would see in like
Yeah,
Desperado or El Mariachi.
absolutely.
That would definitely be something you'd see in something like that, or like Machete or something like that. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? You would see somebody do some shit
absolutely.
like that. That's kind of, yeah, that is kind of like Robert Rodriguez's thing, his style. You know what I mean? Did that moment kind of take you out or what?
I mean, he was carrying a Wookiee, and then he just instead of turning around, he does a spin, and then kneels down and shoots it, and then the Wookiee's like, oh, with all three at once. Yeah, kind of a little bit, and then the Wookiee just walks as if he, and then the Wookiee walks as if he didn't need any help at all.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be carried. That's right. Oh.
Yeah, I got
He's
that's
just like, uh, no, this season finale just proved to me why. Like, what was the point of this? It also proves that they really wanted to make a show for Fennec because she's the only character that does things really in this. Who gets revenge on? Oh man, they killed the Tuscan Raiders. Oh no, it was really actually the Pikes. You dummy! How did you not notice that that was really them? Okay, he's like, oh, Fett's totally gonna take them out. Nope, Fennec takes care of all of them.
yeah, kills the whole room full of them quickly,
Yep,
easy, quietly. Yeah,
and then she just walks out like a badass, and that's it. And then I'm like, what? Like she just does everything, doesn't she? She just does everything. They just make her the main character. Don't call her Boba Fett.
yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing a Ming Na Wen show with her
Sure.
and then
I would
teaching.
have better expectations if it was a character who is cunning. She's cunning and clever and smart and actually makes the smart decisions. And then Boba Fett's just there to just make all the wrong choices so that she can correct him. Things he should already know because he's one of the most infamous bounty hunters in Star Wars, and they treat him like a 5-year-old.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could say like, well, he's never been in charge before. It's a totally different type
That's
of thing.
bullshit.
Never, you know what I mean? Never been a crime lord before. So,
Pardon my language, but the kid's been leading squadrons of bounty hunters since he was like 13.
okay.
Like he has run gangs since he's like actual adult bounty hunters since he was like 13, 14, and held up with them. The kid has had training since he's been a clone. He's trained with Trandoshans. He's done a bunch of crazy crap his entire life to make it this far. Yeah, okay. He's never really needed to like run an entire daimyo, but he knows tactics. He knows strategy, and he knows he can hire people with money. He's like, I have a bunch of credits. I can just do it if I really wanted to. And she has to be the one to remind him, like, you know, there are people you can hire people. Yeah, no shit. You think?
I don't know. Maybe he's on a
Oh
budget. Maybe
man,
he's like,
I
I gotta
used
think.
to be a bounty hunter.
You know, maybe he's thinking about, hey, but that's so expensive. I'm on a budget. You know.
He literally said money was not like what money was not a problem. He could just go. He knows people he can get for cheap. He's made connections. The guy's made connections throughout his entire life. Why is this show even? Why is this show existing? What was the purpose? If this was for Mandalorian season 3, fine. And then the duel they're supposed to have, because really, Cad Bane, who clever, ruthless man as he is, would see that his forces have somehow lost against these idiots who keep firing on shielded droideka, giant droidekas, who I don't know much about Star Wars, but I know about this. If you got a giant shield, that's going to take out platoons of people.
Yeah.
So if they've been dealing with that kind of shield technology, bounty hunters should probably know. Oh, I'm probably gonna have to get at it really slow. I'm gonna have to roll grenades underneath it so it doesn't recognize it in the shields, so it doesn't bounce off, and then take it down like that. Or, I mean, Rancor, sure. Or perhaps, I know most people forgot about that, he has Slave One. Just
Yeah.
fly to the ship, get Slave One, and its artillery power will destroy those things. It can just do a dive and swatch, and they're never gonna hit it.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people mention that too. It's like, why didn't he just get his ship? Yeah.
Get a ship.
Yeah, and then with the droids with the shields, it's like this moments where characters are pinned down, and then they're just firing at the same concrete. I'm like, so is nobody gonna flank these people? Is nobody gonna like come
No,
over the top? Is like the droids? Are they
no.
not just gonna fire like above them so the
Yeah,
debris will land on top of
right.
them? Like, I mean, come on. I mean, you just firing at the same spot that these people
Yeah.
are in. And it's like, what the
Hey,
hell?
let me get a sniper rifle and go for a top angle. To do what? The thing has shields. What, to pick up out people around you while it blows you to smithereens? Like, what's the tactic here? Or, hey, I'm gonna go at the very beginning. I'm gonna go back to the Jabba's palace because it has fortifications, and we can hold off for reinforcements. They're like, no, if you go, we're not gonna join you. I'm like, all right, you can die on your own then, because like
Yeah.
let's stay in the remains of exploded, heavily damaged area. Who, by the way, surprisingly doesn't have a lot of bodies in there, despite the explosion. There should be bodies all around, but they didn't. There's no bodies there, so it's surprisingly clean
No.
area. And go, we're gonna make a stand on this not very well defensible position because now we only have one in, one out. Versus Jabba's palace, where I have my ship, where I have this, and I have terrain, and I have the high ground. They
Yeah.
have to come to me on our terms. And then she just makes a suggestion, like, we're going to do this. And he goes, why? Well, because reasons. We'll stay. And you're like, Boba, what are you thinking? What do you do? You know what? You're not Boba Fett. We're going to call you, not Boba. Because you're clearly not the same character. It's like the same thing with Last Jedi. He's not Luke Skywalker. He's Jake Skywalker. He's not the same character, and they're just going to treat him differently. If they're going to do that, we're going to do this. And then we're going to have a final duel with Cad Bane, who's going to show up, even though all his troops are destroyed. He's like, all right, I want to have a final duel with you. Cad Bane would have taken off. He already got his money. Why does he care?
Right.
If
Yeah.
if Boba caught him leaving, like the reason he didn't, like, oh, I got the Rancor, and then, hey, tells the Rancor, hey, cool, we've ripped the droids, I'm going to stop, and he just starts flying off, and he initially goes after the Pike, and then while the Pikes are trying to escape, to hold up somewhere, Fennec and him meet up, and then she sees this, and she's going to interfere, and he goes, no, we need to end this once and for all, and she's like, go take care of them. Like, go take care of Pikes, and then he, like, just kind of whispers to her, and make it hurt. And he's like, make it hurt for, like, whatever, and she's like, good luck, and then she goes on. That would actually be like a man with no name situation, and it'd be like, oh man, we're gonna have a final duel between Cad Bane and Boba Fett. Everything's gone, and he's cornered him. It doesn't feel like, hey, I just showed up. He was leaving. He just got cornered, and Boba's not gonna let him through until he's dead. Then that feels like much more of a bigger moment. Also, because Pike just gets killed randomly, and they just reveal that as they were killed by biker gang. What was the whole point of him being saved by Tusken Raiders, which wasn't in the EU, and they just made it up for the series? What was the point? Because he got a stick that he could hit Cad Bane with.
I guess so. I guess so. He can learn that special move to fight him at the end. I guess.
Yes, the super move that he only used once prior. And we're gonna pull that out of your hat to not kill Cad Bane because he's probably not dead.
You don't think he's dead?
Nah, probably not. They're not gonna kill off Cad Bane that way.
I don't. Yeah,
Cad Bane's been shot. He's been shot in the head or almost killed. Cad Bane has been stabbed, and when he's stabbed, as they zoomed in onto him, you can hear beeping sounds. No, he's probably not dead.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess he wouldn't get rid of a character that popular, and then you have all this history with the character.
I mean, if it was what we were doing, and this was a build-up, and this was like maybe season 2 of Boba Fett, and he had already had adventures with bounty hunters, and this was like a final big moment for his character, and he's had trying to help the Mandalorians, and this all this stuff, and this was a completely different context. Okay, and there's like one final showdown of like, let's see who's top dog. Then I would believe that. That would be a genuinely good moment to end his, or at least be a finite moment for his character. But not in this. And if they do, what a waste. What a waste of a badass character.
Yeah, maybe I agree with you. I don't think. Yeah, maybe he's not dead because, I mean, that is Dave Filoni's, and kind of character that he really helped build in Clone Wars and all these other different.
Along with Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah,
they're both characters he helped create.
So probably not gonna get rid of him that easily, maybe. But I don't know. So with the finale, there were a lot of, I think, to me, awesome moments and cheer-worthy moments. Like I said, the moments where you did have him ride the Rancor, the moments where where you do see Mandalorian and Baby Yoda reconnect, and that was a very sweet moment. And they do that. The moment where Boba Fett and Mando, they team up, that was a great moment. It's the most badass Boba Fett has looked all series, where he comes out
the entire series
shooting, and he fires one rocket from like his kneecap, and doing all this other stuff, and it's like, again,
two of them.
Yeah, two of them, and that was kind of the most badass he ever looked. Yeah, and then you see him helping Mando a little bit, where he's getting shot down and everything, and it's like, that was the best he's looked all series. I mean, that's kind of what we wanted to see from him throughout the whole series.
Day one.
But you just didn't really get much of that. There's a lot of like why did you come up with that? Like you mentioned the stuff with the droids, and you have these heavily armored with the shields. It's like why not just get the ship? Why not go back to Boba Fett's palace? That is heavily fortified. You had the character of Chrysanthemum, who was wasted, completely wasted. I thought he was going to be like this big badass coming in and real tearing the people apart. And I mean, he did rip a guy's arm off, you know what I mean? But okay, that was in the club, but that's the only kind of thing he did. I think that was that, ferocious and, or, that vicious. But yeah, I mean, I think this finale is. I think it's I think it's just okay because I think the moments that do really work, that are good moments, do really are really put, I think put it ahead. I don't think it's the weakest of the series. I think some of the beginning episodes, like 2 or 3, were probably weaker.
Yeah.
Were weaker for me. Um, yeah, I overall I would give this series like a low stream it because I think it's called the Book of Boba Fett, as you mentioned, but it gets like the last 3 episodes are the best, but they don't even have little to no Boba Fett in it. So you didn't really do a good job. And I felt like they had an idea of like Boba Fett as a crime lord. Okay, that sounds cool. That's a cool idea.
Right.
And people really like this Ming Na Wing character. She's shown up as Fennec, and she's really great, and people love her.
She's becoming a fan favorite. How do we connect this with the with their overall story?
And that's when they were in the writing
Yeah.
room and they were trying to come up with ideas, and they had no hell idea how they were going to work this out.
No.
And that's what you kind of see on screen, I think. So yeah, I would just give it a low stream for me. What about you?
I can't. It is saved. If you like The Mandalorian, I will say I'll give it a low stream it, because then you'll only have to watch the 5 and 6, and then the part where Gubu and
Grogu.
whatever Grubu Grenadine, whatever his name is, Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
Whenever
Baby
Baby Yoda and Mando meet up, and it's the heartwarming moment when they do, and then when they leave, you can do that. Or probably just watch those 2 episodes, 5 and 6, and then go to YouTube and find the clips of where they after that, and then you can watch season 3. The rest of this you can skip. Now that I've seen the entire story, aside from the Marshall character from Justified, aside from the few characters here and there and the few moments, there's not really much really here for Star Wars fans, and even hardcore Star Wars fans, I think, would have a lot of issue with the series in general. Just what was the point? It felt like 3 different ideas that were fighting. They wanted to make a connection with the Mandalorian, but they also wanted to tell like this Tatooine politics, old school gangster story. But they also wanted Boba Fett in there somehow, and bounty hunters and Fennec, and you're like, this doesn't fit in any one of these. They also want to tell a Grubu story, kind of, sort of, at the same time, and they didn't. It doesn't fit organically in here. It doesn't at all gel, and it's just so all over the place and such a mess that I can't recommend it, honestly. Aside from the really hardcore people who want a preview for The Mandalorian season 3, I'm honestly just gonna say this is a skip.
Wow, skipping. Okay. Not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna argue with you. I think it's a horrible series.
No,
I don't think.
That's why I didn't say burn it or hate it. I just said, it's not really, unless you're gonna watch certain parts of it, it's not really worth it.
Yeah. I don't think it's that. I just think, yeah, it's got some kind of moments. Just feels like I don't know if they are gonna do a season 2. Seems like I don't know. The ending is like what they're saying. It's like I guess not. I don't know, but if they do, I think you can really improve upon some things and then come back with some better material. I think possibly. All right, so we're gonna be moving on from discussing Book of Boba Fett finale. Going to be discussing Peacemaker, the penultimate episode here. Also, let's try not to, because somebody told me like we spoiled too much, I guess, with the Peacemaker stuff, because they're watching it, weekly stuff. So it's not like, I guess, like Book of Boba Fett where we can do a lot of that.
Got it.
So with Peacemaker, we're gonna try not to spoil episode
You got
7. So here, you have a lot of elements culminating from what happened before. You have his father Robert Patrick going after him, who's the White Dragon. You also have the police force who've all been taken over by butterflies. They're also coming after Peacemaker, who, by the way, in the last episode, John Cena actually played the piano, "Home Sweet Home" from Motley Crue. That was actually him playing the
Hmm.
piano. I'll find that out.
Oh, nice.
And then so you have kind of all those elements coming together there, all to try to kill him. Um, and while they're in the midst of doing that, you also have to stop, which is called the cow, which is a source for the butterflies, that you find out what it is in this episode. And also, good return of Judo Master, who was
Mm.
gone the last couple episodes. He shows back up, kicking some ass again. I always like to see him. Um,
Sucker punching everybody in the face.
yeah, you know what I mean. It's yeah, that's always fun to watch him beat up people. That's just hilarious. Um, but with this episode here, what were kind of your thoughts?
I thought, aside from some small cohesion issues between the editing, I thought overall the episode was still pretty darn good.
Yeah. Robert Patrick is the White Dragon, is
Mm.
Peacemaker's father. Really great. Really, really good playing a despicable human being.
With that
Uh,
mullet.
oh yeah, with the mullet and the way it looks, and you learn. It also shows you more of Peacemaker's backstory, and you find out what really happened with him and his brother, which it gives me even more sympathy for him, because it's like, yeah, I mean, what happened? It's like, because I thought it was at first this one way of kind of them messing around, but no, it was completely this other way. And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, it's
Things
completely,
were gonna happen.
yeah, I'm like, it's
You're
completely his fault.
yeah. You put two people who are trained kill. You're trying to make trained killers. Something's gonna happen.
Yeah. Um, you also see, kind of see that how in the last episode you see kind of the team come together. In the last, like, I think it was episode 5, you really saw them kind of come together. But then you see a little bit of dissension there that happens, but then you see them kind of reconnect again because they was like, listen, we have to come together for this common goal and the original purpose of why we're here, and to stop the butterflies. And to see the kind of the whole team kind of work together. I think all these people have great chemistry together. The whole cast does, and they all play off each other really, really well. And I guess you can really tell that a lot of them have fun, behind the scenes, and really kind of do joke around. Seems like a good chemistry, and good feeling on set. And I think that really translates very well. I mean, what do you kind of think about that?
I think you can tell there's a definite chemistry between all the actors. I think that's very apparent.
Yeah. And I think it does, kind of a great job with that. And with this episode here, like I said, so I think that it does a great job really setting up the finale, as
Mm.
well, and really setting up what the future of this team is going to be, whether there is going to be a season 2 of this show or not.
Yeah.
Because it seems like one of those shows that may or may not, just be purely limited. I don't know yet. I don't know what the plans
Yeah.
are yet for this kind of series. Um, and I
It's been
think,
handling its actions and pacing as if this is like maybe a one and done.
yeah, which is kind of maybe what I'm kind of thinking possibly. But I mean, you kind of have a lot of these who you could see pop up in definitely other things and provide,
Hmm.
like the character of Hardcore. I think is she's really great here, and I could definitely see her really being great in other stuff. And she has the mindset very much of like like Peacemaker and like Vigilante of hey, I'm doing whatever it takes to hey, to save whoever, you know what I mean, and for the
Right.
greater good. She very much has that mindset, and that's why she can very much relate to somebody like maybe like a Peacemaker or
Right.
Vigilante.
But
Um,
she also has just enough balance where deep down she does have a moral compass and
mm,
she doesn't feel good about taking innocent lives or betraying the people that matter. Um, there's an argument without spoiling anything. There's an argument between her and what's her character's name? I know the actress Ajula.
No, it's
Ajuela.
yeah, it's like a
Ajuela.
yeah.
They have like a whole moment of like what it means to be loyal and sometimes what if it means to like taking someone's life. And
Adebayo, yeah, Adebayo is what it.
Adebayo, thank you, Adebayo. Yeah, it was just one of those. It slipped my mind, and they're just talking back and forth, and it's kind of like there was actually a couple of times in this episode where they're like dichotomies brought up to people, and the way those people handled the dichotomies spoke a lot about their characters.
Hmm.
Vigilante gets, in a humorous way, gets presented with a dichotomy, and he's just like, yeah, like you don't see like the kind of screwed up thing about that, and he goes, "It's like no."
Yeah. Did you come up with a new diagnosis with him for this episode? Or?
Oh Lord, oh my God, it must be like a running joke at this point. They must. I don't know if they hear me when we do these because this brother just keeps getting worse. Uh, so he's definitely a narcissist, but now I'm wondering. I think last time I went with he's a narcissist with psychopathic tendencies. I think he also has semi-sociopathic tendencies as well. I don't know what he's doing, but he's definitely a narcissist. He's definitely in his own head, and he doesn't quite know what's reality. He's very self-serving. He's very much considering himself, but he's also like extremely unobservant of the world. He in situations like he'll have something like, "Oh, I got to do this," and then he'll have like a brain fart like, well, what about we'll do this and then whatever. It's like, why would you do that? What would you think of? Well, because that way we could do that. And it's like, in no way no one would ever thought to have done that aside from someone who's in completely their own head. So oh man, he just keeps getting worse, man. I'm throwing sociopathy back on the table. It's back on the menu, boys. He might have he might be a mix of psychopathy with sociopathic tendencies on top of it, but he's most definitely a narcissist in many regards, and he might also have ADHD because he just can't keep his attention straight. I mean, possibly autistic attentions. I don't know, man. He's all over the place. He's like a grounded version of Deadpool without the fantastical nature of Deadpool's character. By being Ryan Reynolds, you can kind of make him charming. It's like you take the charm away from Deadpool, and he's just this. Wow, you need help. You're really screwed up.
I think he's kind of charming in his own kind of.
He is like a different kind of charming. He's more like a goober.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Just kind of seems like very naive, but also very psychotic and everything like that. Like he's got his own kind of charm working for him. Yeah. Again, like with this series, I'm loving every episode. I'm loving watching it. I can't wait for the finale. I think it's gonna be really, I think a really great finale, and to see how everything kind of ends. Do you think members of the team are gonna die?
Yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I do. I think members of the team will have to die, or possibly maybe have a fake out.
Just for it to have stakes.
Entirely possible. Yeah, it's entirely possible they might do a fake out. Like they'll have like this character's dead, and then like they'll cut, and it's like a post credits, and they're like, "Hello, hello, I'm not dead." Shit, how the fuck do I get out of here?
That's very possible that they probably do that. That is very, very possible. Yeah. We're gonna be here reviewing the finale next week. Dusk, you gonna be here next week?
I'll be here next week.
Okay, awesome. I don't know if Nick is gonna be here next week, but we're gonna be definitely showing up. Next week is Uncharted. That's what's gonna come out next week. So that was our Peacemaker penultimate episode review, episode 7. We'll be back. I'll try to see if I can do a show tomorrow. I'm trying to get another co-host for that show tomorrow. If it is tomorrow, maybe we're going to be doing Reacher, which is the Amazon Prime series. We're also going to be doing.
Apparently, everyone loving it.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of great things about the series. Did you ever see the movies?
I did.
I only ever saw the first one, and I like the first one with Tom Cruise.
Good job. You don't need to see the second.
Yeah, I heard the second one wasn't as good.
No, the
Um,
first one is really solid, and the second one kind of drops the ball.
yeah. So I want to check that out, and also "Marry Me," which is the Jennifer Lopez movie and Owen Wilson. That's in theaters and it's on streaming. So I sit at home, check it out, watch it on. I think it's on Peacock. I think.
Yeah, bring your girl.
Yeah. So yeah, watch that. Next week is going to be Uncharted Friday. We're going to be streaming, so it's going to be the finale of Peacemaker and Uncharted Friday. Oh, thank you again for playing the Afternoon Delight for 10 bits there, Javon Good. Much appreciated, man. Much love, man.
Thank you.
I think Javon Good's at work right now, I think.
Ooh.
But yeah, so we're going to be doing that. And then we're going to see if we can do another series Saturday. Eventually, we want to get to also like doing Euphoria. I've never seen the show. My timeline, my feed is nothing but Euphoria. People talking about that show. So when season two ends, we're going to be doing a review of that show. Proud Family, that's also coming back. They're doing a revival of that show,
Oh snap!
which is coming on Disney Plus. I haven't watched that show in years, so I'm going to be watching
I
that
know
show.
he was really. I know the creator was really looking forward to this because he would only do it if they gave him freedom control, and they apparently did. So
Oh,
apparently they're like they said, yeah, you're free to have free because the last time, like the Proud Family has had dubious history of being released outside of its original run because there's a I know because Destiny's Child did like the opening song. They also did some original songs, or they got songs for it, and that's copyrighted because Disney hasn't really done anything with it. So they haven't really. That's he's when people ask like, why isn't there any like big releases? He's like, that's Disney. They own it. I don't have any control over it. I wish it was different, but that's not. So they came to him and asked like, hey, do you want to do this? And he's like, yeah, but I would only do it if you left room control. And they're like, cool. Where you need to sign. So apparently they're all for him just having more creative control over it and just kind of doing a bit more and kind of looking back on what he already made and kind of doing what he did before with his team. But I don't know. So I mean, good kudos to him. Good luck. Hope it looks well because I enjoyed the Pride Family originally when it came out.
yeah. Yeah, we're gonna be doing. Yeah, we'll see if we can review the series before the revival comes out.
Yeah.
I think it comes out the 23rd of February, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, man. You got a lot of episodes to go through.
Yeah, got a lot of watch there, so maybe I'll try to watch that before then. Also, what else I was gonna say with did you hear about the revival Futurama that's coming back?
There's a big controversy at the moment whether or not John DiMaggio coming back with as Bender.
Yeah, like he wants more money. And then there's like he's holding out and everything like that, so he's not gonna be. They say he's not gonna be back as Bender, which if he's not gonna be back as Bender, there's kind of no point.
What's the point?
Yeah, and plus,
Bender's like Bender along with Fry and Leela are like the trifecta.
yeah,
Also Hermes and Zoidberg.
yeah. Also, it's just that I mean, Futurama's already come back like twice already. Like it's been canceled before, then came back again, then got canceled again, and came back.
It has had four endings, four different what could have been presumed endings for the show.
Yeah,
and people have even voted like, well, which one did you like the most out of a could have been an ending?
Yeah,
I don't mind another revival, but it will feel really awkward if Bender doesn't return. John DiMaggio does not return as Bender.
yeah. It's just like why not do it? I want to say
he's such the character.
Yeah, I mean it's just perfect. I mean him as the voice for that character is just absolutely perfect. I mean you can't imagine anyone else doing the voice for that character unless they do like what they did with Mark Hamill, just put his voice in the computer and just have it just.
Oh, I was ready to bring that up because last time we were talking about, oh man, Mark Hamill's doing some great voice work, and I brought up that sounded really robotic, and you're like, nah, man, that's just his voice work, and I'm like, really? Okay. Turns out I was right.
Yeah,
they just put him through an algorithm.
Yeah, and they just made his voice. You know, they just had so much stuff on his voice. They just put it into a computer and just boom, popped out a whole voice work right there. I was like, oh, Wow. So maybe
That's really terrifying.
yeah, it is absolutely completely terrifying. Yeah, I hope I don't know if he got paid for that or not. I hope he. I would have hoped he.
Probably not.
Yeah, I guess because maybe that's all that stuff is like. Well, that's from Star Wars, and we own your likeness and everything from Star Wars, so we don't have to pay you shit. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's fucking terrifying. And a revival that just got canceled was the Boondocks revival that just got canceled. They're not gonna go forward with
That's
that.
probably for the best.
Yeah, because John Witherspoon is passed away, so he can't come back as granddad. And again, it's
Yeah.
just kind of the same thing. It's like, why bring the show back if why kind of continue to bring the show back if he kind of passed away? And I think he
Yeah.
did do a few lines before he passed away, but
Hmm.
why do that? Somebody did come up with a good idea though. They said, what if you did it where it was like you had a grandmother character that replaced him, and it was voiced by Jennifer Lewis, and I was like, oh,
Mm.
that would actually that's kind of a good idea. And if you don't know Jennifer
But
Lewis,
mm,
she was the actress who was like the black mother in a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? She's
mm,
always
yeah.
she's the grandmother in the series Blackish. She's the grandmother in that.
Mm.
What were you gonna
Sh-
say?
I was gonna say, didn't they have a whole thing where the grandma, like his wife, had passed away, and that's why he lived by himself.
Yeah, that is. I'm saying like if they bring in like I don't know if they do some other family character like
I mean,
that.
They easily could easily bring in, and she's like taking over the estate because they're not quite old enough.
Mm,
That's fine. I think honestly though, was probably at its best season 1 and season 2.
yeah,
Those were probably like the best seasons and really hit the nail on the head. And it really didn't do well to keep going.
yeah.
So maybe season 4 was really bad. So let's just leave well enough alone and just remember the good times.
I don't know, but season four didn't have much of Aaron McGruber's control, did it?
True. So that might also have been that as well. Neither did I think season 3 too. I think that's when it started.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I would have liked to see Boondocks come back just simply for like. I mean, there's lots of crazy shit going on. I love to
Sure.
see
Oh
them
man, yeah.
like Kanye. I love to see them do that one. I love to see them
True.
do Trump stuff. I love to see them do the vaccine stuff. Like that would just be
If they
awesome.
did come back, I would love to see an older Huey and an older. I'd love to see both the older characters a bit. Like I don't know, maybe they're in their like early teens and having to kind of deal with this a little bit, or maybe just in high school in general and having to deal with that because it would age them up in a bit. They'd have a bit more, like they could stay out a bit more, but also having that more of a if you did bring like a grandmother character that it would be a completely different style and tone. It could still be sarcastic as heck, but having a bit more of a I don't know, getting back to kind of what the earlier season Boondocks kind of had, where they had a bit of heart as well,
Yeah.
just a bit, just a tad.
Yeah. What else?
But I'm sorry that it didn't work itself out.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, maybe it's for the best. I mean, if you can't bring back John Witherspoon, I mean,
Yeah,
what's kind of the
yeah,
point?
maybe. Who knows?
All right. So I'm gonna find somebody to raid real quick. I got a guy, Pumpkin Boom, right here. He's playing some Sifu. Um,
Seafood. That's a great game.
yeah, I've been playing a lot. I've been streaming a lot of it. Really, really great game. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Yeah. Have you been playing it?
I just was about to purchase it, but I saw some gameplay trailers and I saw it. And I've actually been telling a lot of my friends like, "Hey, check this out." I've been watching it for a little while, and the more gameplay I saw, the more this could be kind of cool. And
Yeah.
I love the death mechanic in this game. I really like it and the style, even though it's limited in its style. I appreciate the focus, and it's just really neat. It's also just really neat to seeing wushu fighting. Like we really
Uh,
don't get that kind of a martial arts and a kind of a beat 'em up style too often.
yeah. The like the martial arts style here, like the kung fu is called Pak Mei.
May
Um,
yeah.
and it's really
Uh,
good. It's a challenging game.
mm-hmm.
It's like something on the level of like Cuphead, I would say, as far as challenging
Yeah.
goes. Um,
I do like the mechanics of like it in a way it punishes you for keep going forward as an older individual because eventually you come to a point where you can't gain any new skills or experience. So it kind of tests you. All right, go back, try it to get it as young as possible.
yeah.
That's a neat mechanic.
Because I'm age like because as Dust mentioned, so is when you die you have this like medallion that can bring you back to life. But the thing is, when it brings you back to life, you get a year older. So you start off the game at 20, you die, it adds one to your death counter. So when you come back, then you're 21. But then if you die again, then now it's like adds another one to your death counter. It's two. So then now it goes up by three. So then now you're like 23. So it kind of keeps going up and up and up. And there's like a limit of how much you can age. There's some benefits to aging. There's some downsides. Like a benefit is as older you get, the more stronger you get. But then as older you get, the weaker you become. So hits do a lot more damage to you. And there's some different enemy types that you face. There's like of course like the big bruiser that you see in a lot of video games. But then there's some risk reward because when you beat up people enough, when their health meter goes down, you can finish them off. And it's kind of like a Spider-Man finisher that you do, kind of. But the risk is if you do try to finish them off, they can block it, and then they turn into an either kind of like more of a threat, and their health bar goes all the way back up. So you kind of have to deal with that now, and their move set completely changes. So I'm only on the second level. I've been playing, because I had to play through the first level so many times to get past it. So I wouldn't, because I
Mhm.
realized, like, okay, I don't want to get that old. At least if I'm going to die, I want to die on the boss. So
Mhm.
I just want to do that. So I'm at the club right now. But yeah, it's a lot of fun and it's really challenging. And seeing the moves, then the use of the environment that they do, the art style of the game is gorgeous. I love kind of the art style of the game. The music of the game is really good too. When you're just going through levels, it's a straightforward game. I mean, it's the premise is just straightforward. I mean, it's like how most kind of martial arts movies are.
Right.
Which this game does pay homage to. Like there's even a scene like you'll see in a hallway which pays
Oh,
homage
that's an
to.
old boy. That's an
Yeah,
old boys reference.
yeah, like a old boys reference and things like that. So that's the great thing about the game. And then the creators said like yeah, it took inspiration from Jackie Chan films, from things like The
Hmm.
Raid, and you kind of very much see that here.
Good
Um,
taste.
I,
Good taste.
I've only done
Hmm.
like two boss battles so far. Very challenging, very kind of hard
Hmm.
stuff. But it really is fun going back and playing. It's not a challenging in a bad way. Like Cuphead is fun. It's fun challenging.
Right.
I think seeing how seeing the pattern and how you defeat the boss, and I think it's very good. And really trying to evade as much as possible and using the environment because objects are your friend. Bottles,
Hmm.
sticks, everything like that. They do a lot of damage. They stun people, and you can do a lot of different combos and things like that in the game. But yeah, it's a great game. Yeah, I highly recommend people check it out if you haven't.
If you
Yeah.
want to check out a nice trailer for it, there's a live action trailer for it that's pretty good too, made by a YouTuber who's gotten more and more recognition over time that now he could make official trailers for the game, which is really nice to see. Reminded me a lot of the Sleeping Dogs live action trailer, which I also would recommend. That's like 11 a minute one, and that was also really good too.
Let's
Sleeping
see.
Dogs is also a game I would recommend too. If you like the kind of fighting combat system, but with a more open world kind of cop crime game, I would also check out Sleeping Dogs.
Yeah, I got the live action trailer pulled up here. I was seeing some of this, a little bit of it. Yeah, it does look very impressive. Yeah, it does look very good. A lot of the action looks very good. Maybe they should try to do a movie out of it. Maybe it'll be the first great, movie. Why not? Make a Sifu, just a
I
straight up.
mean, you could probably do that. Sleeping Dogs would also be another easily doable movie for a video game franchise that wouldn't suck. It's just understanding the material and just taking what worked and the things that inspired you and just putting it back in.
Yeah, yeah. But you never know. They'll find a way to fuck it up.
Yeah,
Still.
I know. I know.
All right. So we're gonna be heading out. I'm gonna be raiding Pumpkin Boom. He's playing Sifu right now. Thank you everybody. Thank you for joining us. Much appreciated. Thank you Javon Good for showing up, man, with the 20 bits. Thank you Nick for dropping the 200 bits there, man. Thank you for Kristen for showing up. Thank you so for Marley for showing up. Everybody showing up in the stream. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm gonna be streaming Sifu. I've been streaming it pretty much every day since I gotten it. Just been popping up, streaming it. So just checking me out through the weekdays, playing some Sifu. If you ever want to come by, do some backseat gaming, Hey man, I'd be welcome to have you. Um, there, Dusk.
Hmm.
Have you been playing anything recently new?
Uh, Aside from Halo, when I get time after work, I've been playing Halo Infinite, but I've been putting it off for now because the rewards right now kind of suck. So
Mm,
I've been kind of putting that back burner. I'm going through my old collection right now, so I'm trying to beat games for my PlayStation that I now have time to play.
okay.
And I
Uh,
better do that fast before, because that Nintendo Direct, whole crap, where there are a lot of games that I'm going to be looking forward to.
yeah. All right, people that be getting out of here. Hey, we are everywhere. All the social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. All at the
Hmm.
afternoon tune. TikTok, we post clips, everything like that at afternoon tune. So Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all afternoon tune. You also check us out. Send us an email, theafternoontune at gmail.com. You can also find us on YouTube, youtube.com. The afternoon tune, just type us in. You'll find full reviews, clips, shorts, everything like that. Make sure to give us like, subscribe, comment, do all that good fun YouTube stuff. You already know what to do. Hey, if
Hmm.
you also want to check us out, we're streaming on Twitch right now. Twitch.tv/the afternoon tune. We're at 141 followers, trying to get to 200, maybe by the end of this month or beginning of the next month. So that'd be awesome if we did that. Got a goal to try to make it to at least 1K this year. Hopefully, make it on all platforms, 1K. So, hopefully, trying to do that. But hey, all great people. Stay for Pumpkin Boom. We're gonna be rating them, playing some seafood right now. So, to all you good people out there, don't forget to always stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
All right, we're gonna be heading out, and we're gonna be rating them
Hmm.
right here. And done. All right. Thank you, Dusk. Thank you, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for joining me.
Of course.
Yeah, just see you back Friday. Yeah, doing
Yeah.
Uncharted. You gonna go see Uncharted?
Yeah, I mean, I have to. I'm obligated at this point.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Get optimistic about it.
Nah, not